Comic Timing is member supported by listeners like you over at patreon.com/comic timing. We thank you very much for your continued support of the show. As 2026 has now begun, it's a brand new year to donate to the show if you have the means to do so. For as little as $1 a month, you get behind-the-scenes access, including some articles by Chris Naudis, some diaries by me, occasional input by Raph, and any extra audio and video that we can throw your way. So thank you very much once again for your continued support over at patreon.com/comic timing. And if you want to give a one-time donation to the show, you can do that as well at paypal.me/IAM sci-fi. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And why not? Thank you. Hey there, folks. My name is Ian Levinstein, and welcome to episode 272 of Comic Timing. Yeah, we're wordy bitches. I knew going into this that this could very easily wind up being a two-parter, and that's exactly what it wound up being. As Adam Murdo put painstaking research into every single character that appears on this first issue variant cover that Scott Kobush put out for the new history of the DC Universe. And I loved every single minute of it. And I'm glad that you guys now get to experience the second part of that recording. Obviously, those of you listening to this in audio, I will mention that we are as descriptive as possible with this. You can still certainly listen on audio and understand everything that's going forward. But if you want the visual supplement, either pick up your variant cover. You can find the issue cover online as well on DC's website and various other places. Or you can go to the YouTube and check it out there as well. We have the full video of what I'm going through that entire time. And hopefully our video in the corner of the two of us doesn't skew too much of the image, but there might be one or two instances where it might, cover up one or two characters, but we're still describing who they are. So you'll definitely be able to check it out. But yeah, really, really glad that we recorded this. Really, really glad that you guys are back for part 2. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I did recording it. So without further ado, here is part 2 of cover 1 to the new history of the DC Universe, the Scott Kobush variant, with all the Golden Age characters he could fit in a hat. There's a lot of hats on this cover, too. Trust me. All right. Let's get back to where we were. So I think right around here is a good place to be either way, because I want to know who's the swordsman directly next to the Three Musketeers.
All right. Now, this is one... this is a character that I've known since we started doing DC Spotlights ages ago on a different podcast. Mm-hmm. But I just happened to be aware of his existence. He is one of the very first characters Siegel and Schuster ever sold to DC. Mm-hmm. And he's on my list here. He's near the Musketeers.
Near the Musketeers.
Anyway, his name is Henri Duval of France.
Okay.
And he appeared in the first handful of issues of New Fun Comics, back in the mid-30s. And he was a kind of a Revolutionary-era swashbuckler and dandy who would attack people for insulting his clothes.
Okay. That's the basis of a character. Yeah, absolutely.
In the mid-30s, sure.
Yep. All right, and then directly next to him, this Ricardo Montalban-looking fellow. I love his suit. I love his smile, and he's got that Superman coif to his hair that really works for him nicely.
Oh, okay, found him. All right, yep. Oh, and I found Henri Duval of France while I was at it too.
Oui.
Okay, yes, Henri appeared 6 times, by the by. Okay. And this guy is Clip Carson. Mm-hmm. Clip is the only first name he's ever known to have. Kind of a generic soldier of fortune figure, and a little bit of a scoundrel. So he's like a mid-30s Han Solo, even. There he is. He was not created by... well, similar to how Henri Duval was an early collaboration of Siegel and Schuster. This guy was an early collaboration of Bob Kane and Bill Finger.
Oh, wow.
Yep, and certainly not as well remembered as Batman, but yeah, he first appeared in Action Comics number 14, July of 1939, just a couple of months after Batman's first appearance, and ran there for a little bit, later moved to More Fun, and yeah, he was a bit of a scoundrel.
Sounds like it. All right, and it's a good thing that we have this very high-quality version of the cover, because I sure as heck would have missed this scary clown-looking face directly next to him if we didn't.
Right out of that Action Comics number 1 wheel well, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that guy he's the ragdoll, Peter Merkel.
There you go.
The original Golden Age bad guy who's originally was just a double-jointed contortionist who used his crazy contortion abilities to commit thefts, and eventually, thanks to James Robinson, became like a murder cult leader.
Yes, and his son is one of the Secret Six, and has been in Flash and a whole bunch of other places. So. All right, let's move ourselves back up a little bit, up and to the right, and get to this Scott Summers-looking fellow here in yellow, who is most definitely not Scott Summers because wrong company.
Nope. And another one that technically probably shouldn't be on this cover because wrong decade. This is one that I identified right away, though. This is Dr. 13. Dr. Terrence 13, the Ghost Breaker. He kind of came to prominence in the Comics Code Authority age, kind of as DC was moving away from the sensationalistic horror and gore that characterized people like DC. This is a guy who was kind of an anti-horror figure. He was like the Scooby Gang in one trench coat. His deal was he traveled around the country and the world debunking various myths of the supernatural, ghosts and monsters and such like. He was a crusading rationalist. He was created by a guy named Leonard Starr, but he didn't make his first appearance until the early 50s in the pages of Star Spangled Comics.
Interesting.
So he is kind of a post. And eventually he got tangled up with the Phantom Stranger and became like a supporting character and foil for him. But originally he had his own strip. But it was pretty much post-Golden Age.
Got it. Yep, and just looking at him, he's had some run-ins with John Constantine over the years, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So.
I believe he actually did meet John Constantine at one point.
Yep.
Some of you out there may be most familiar with him from the Dr. 13 Architecture and Morality story that DC published a few years. I think Brian Azzarello wrote it. And it featured him and a small cast of other forgotten DC characters, at least one of whom can be found elsewhere on this cover.
Well, there you go. All right, Blondie in red.
All right, this is a concept so fantastical it would had to have been in comic books back in the late 40s and early 50s. This is Dr. Patricia Windsor, who appeared in a strip known as Dr. Pat. She was a women doctor, by gum.
What?
I know, incredible.
I know.
Which ran for a whole 13 issues in that bastion of feminism, Sensation Comics, which was also where Wonder Woman made her, well, technically second appearance. But yeah, she was created by Bob Kanigher and Carmine Infantino, and but she ran for 13 issues between October of 1949 and December of 1951. So she just kind of squeezes into the tail end of the Golden Age there.
And to say the least, she really hasn't shown up since.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. All right. These two were part of Robot Guys, so we covered them already. I really need to know about who this small mustached hair coiffed fellow is directly underneath them.
All right. Well, I keep seeing mustache in my notes, but it's never the right one. Okay, found him. Okay, he's a humor character, as his appearance sort of suggests. He was known at different times as Don Quixote and Sirloin of Beef. So he was, funny knight guy. He was a bumbling knight who had adventures with his two squires, not pictured, Hash and Hamburger. And he appeared sporadically in different DC titles between 1935 and 1939.
Okay. And then directly to his right is not Alfred. It's just another guy who looks British with glasses and a beard. And a mustache, that is.
Yes, he is another guy with a mustache, right. This guy is Needles, who is the title character of a humor strip called Needles Uses His Noodle. And Needles was a frustrated inventor who invents things that never work. A lot of failed get-rich-quick schemes, and his fallback safety job is door-to-door salesman, and he's not good at that either.
Oh, well.
Yeah. He appeared in the first 7 issues of New Comics, 1935 through 36.
Okay. And I love how good he is at fitting people in here, especially like behind the car, because again, the guy directly behind him would fade into the background if you weren't looking directly for him, but he's there.
Yep, he's just kind of lurking there behind Needles. Okay, and he, my note says, under Mary's butt. Indeed, there he is. Seems kind of happy about it, too.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a lesser-known Quality Comics character, and he's like a historical adventure period sort of character. Well, not really, because his adventures were set at the time of World War II, but in like a theater of war that was not often depicted. Mm-hmm. Actually, his adventures were set in an Arabian kingdom that is a part of present-day Yemen. He's the son of the Caliph who is in charge of that kingdom. His name was Abdul Inbay, but the title of his strip was Abdul the Arab, which they could do because it was whichever year that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1939 through 1941. It actually ran for 2 solid years. And so he was the sympathetic son of a sheik who aided Allied forces in that part of the Middle East.
Okay. You sympathetic son of a sheik. Nice.
Named Abdul Inbay.
Okay. We covered most of these fellows over here, so let's go around to the other side of the car. And that is not a Popeye character.
Nope, that's not J. Wellington Wimpy, though you'd be tempted to say so.
Yeah. I think that's who we're up to, if my memory serves.
You want to know who that guy is?
Yes, I do.
That is Alfred.
Oh, wow!
That's the Golden Age version of Alfred. He looked like that. No mustache, short, chubby, and he was always making comically misguided attempts to be a detective and getting in Batman's way. So this is Earth 2 Alfred, whose surname, by the way, was Beagle. Pennyworth was the Earth 1 Alfred.
Got it. Okay. I think I prefer Pennyworth, quite frankly. I mean, this guy looks like he would get into some really stupid adventures. So, go figure on that. But yeah.
Yep. If we saw a little bit more of his body, we'd probably find that he was clutching his copy of the Detective's Handbook.
All right. Guy entirely in white directly behind him, except for his eye holes, because clearly his eye holes had to be visible since he's in literally everything else covered.
Yeah, well, there's an important reason for the bodysuit. Mm-hmm. You see, this guy is the classic Quality character and OG freedom fighter, the Human Bomb.
There you go.
Alias Roy Lincoln. And he wears that suit, which is made of a material called fibro wax, to contain the explosive energies generated by his body after he swallowed his father's secret chemical explosive formula to keep it away from the Nazis. So he's kind of a classic, tragic Marvel character in that respect. He had to wear that stupid suit all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And there have been many appearances of the Human Bomb over the years, freedom fighters and otherwise. So he is one of those characters that keeps popping up from time to time. Various iterations of him as well, created by other people.
I wish I'd taken note of how many appearances he's made, but I decided to. So some of these characters, I was just like, yeah, that's the Human Bomb. I know who he is, and I didn't bother to write anything down about them. But...
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. And there were other versions of him that were created by, for example, Graham Palmiotti from that version of the Freedom Fighters.
Andrew Lincoln.
Yep, exactly.
Not Andrew Franklin was.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because apparently there were 2 different Human Bombs that were created by Graham Palmiotti. One Franklin and one Taylor.
I don't think I've read up to the Taylor one yet.
Yep. All right. And then directly next to him, guy in white tank top.
Yep. That guy is Sacco Strong, who's a boxer and an amateur detective. Sounds like he's kind of inspired by the Joe Palooka series of like the film shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so a lot of Golden Age characters have comedy relief pals and sidekicks who are also photographers.
Yep.
And Sacco Strong had one whose name was Jerry Indutch, which is just old like 40s lingo for being in trouble with the law or with your wife or somebody. Mm-hmm. So anyway, yeah, Jerry Indutch and Sacco Strong appeared in Adventure Comics for maybe half a year between 1939 and 1940. Oh, nope, I'm sorry, a year and a half, from July of 1939 through December of 1940.
All right, we'll go directly underneath Alfred. I believe is that Giganta, or is that?
I think it's. There's one other thing I can think of that she could be, and we'll get to that later. But I'm assuming that yes, you're right. It is the Golden Age Giganta.
Okay, that's
was an evolved gorilla. Fun fact.
I think I prefer that. I just because it's funny.
It is at that. Gorillas sell comics.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they're hot gorillas.
Now, I may be misremembering his name, but directly next to him is that the Jester?
It is definitely the Jester, yes.
Okay, there we go.
That's another old Quality Comics character, policeman Chuck Lane, who is the direct descendant of a medieval court jester and decided to use, comedy to fight crime.
Mm-hmm. And then is that Phantom Lady next to him?
It's not the Phantom Lady, but there is some question as to exactly who she is.
Okay.
I think she might be another one of the characters that Scott Koblish had to redraw in an emergency hurry. But I think even the annotation that I consulted when making my notes wasn't entirely sure about who she is. But the guess that they had, and that I'm sticking with as well, is that this is a second appearance of Catwoman, but in her original ID as the Cat.
Okay.
When she was not... she was just a lady in a dress, as opposed to a lady in a dress with a cape and a cat mask.
Understood. And then, of course, underneath Giganta is Plaz himself.
You bet that's Plastic Man.
Yep, got to point that out. And then directly next to him, we finally get to the Penguin.
Yes, that is certainly the Penguin. Oswald Chesterfield Cobblepot in all his cigarette mascot-inspired glory.
Yep. Now,
and we also need to mention the guy driving that iconic car from the cover of Action Comics number
was just going to ask, yep.
Oh, you don't know?
No, I don't, actually.
No, but it's important that Plaz is wrapped around the car, because that's Plaz's bumbling sidekick, Woozy Winks.
Ah, Woozy. Okay, all right. Yeah. I'm more modern with my Plaz than I am my Golden Age. So, yep. Okay, got it.
These are the Jack Cole classic creations. Woozy, who was always getting himself into trouble, but fortunately he'd saved the life of a wizard at some point in his early life, and who had put a charm on him so that he was basically a cartoon and could not be killed.
All right.
So a good guy for Plastic Man to pal around with.
Is that a Plaz character directly next to Plaz there, the woman in the blonde there, or is that just happens to be a blonde?
No relation. No, that's just that's a casual. No, that's I'm not going to call her a casual blonde either. That's found it. It was on the next page. Okay, that is Hope Hazard G-Woman, not to be confused with June Justice G-Woman. Mm-hmm. She made exactly 2 appearances, one in April of 37 and once in March of 38, and June Justice made her 1 appearance right smack dab in between the 2. So it's almost as if they were all the same character, just the middle appearance was with a different name.
Interesting. Okay. Maybe they forgot. Well, directly next to her is very recognizable as the Joker. So there he is. It's the Joker to her right. It is
the Joker. Yes.
Yep. And then Jimmy Olsen directly to his right.
Superman's pal. You got it.
Mm-hmm. Moving back up, TNT. He's Dynamite.
He'll win the fight, yeah. And, in reading the 3 letters on his chest, you've also read the character's name. He is called TNT. Yes.
I figured.
He's the alter ego of high school gym teacher and also chemistry teacher, Thomas N. Thomas. And his sidekick and student down there, Danny Dunbar, alias Dan the Dynamite.
Yeah.
Who was a member of the Young All-Stars and was also a pretty important figure in The Golden Age by James Robinson.
Absolutely. Remember that fondly. Yep.
These two, they were working in the chemistry lab together when they accidentally invented and were infused with an explosive chemical that gave them superpowers whenever they touched hands.
Ooh.
And I think Frederick Wortham must have read a couple of appearances of TNT and Dan the Dynamite, because among all the Golden Age sidekick and superhero pairings, this is perhaps the most arguably homoerotic, I would have to say.
What's everybody looking at?
Nothing!
Yeah, I've always gotten kind of a bit of an Ace and Gary thing from the two of them. So
yeah. The costumes. I mean, this is one time when the kid's hair is hidden. If that means anything.
Also, I highly appreciate whenever a superhero of any kind advertises their own name on their chest. It's like what's your name? Points. Oh, okay.
Read it.
And weep.
Yeah. So, anyway, and those two were co-created by Paul Norris, who also co-created Aquaman.
There you go. Oh, and I'm sorry, Chris isn't here, so Aquaman. There we go. Who is that directly on top of TNT?
Directly on top of them. Yeah, well.
You're welcome.
Not touching that one. All right, so which one are we talking about here?
The man in yellow with the with the goggles.
Right. Okay, so next to the Penguin. Darn it. Penguin. Right. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is a little known Quality Comics character called Ace Egan, the Ace of Space.
Okay.
Yes, he made 4 appearances in feature comics for Power. He was a heroic pilot given a power belt by a dying alien. Sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. It's never happened to anyone before. It's the first time.
Yes, so this definitely non-Green Lantern battled the alien Slogons for 4 issues and then was never seen again.
Rightfully so, because Green Lantern's better. I'm sorry. Just even in design. Like, come on, guys. Let's be real here. Now, I would guess next to him was Ma Hunkel, but in the future, but that's not. It's clearly just another old woman in a cape.
Ha ha ha! But that is where you would be mistaken, Ian.
Oh.
That is not a woman.
Whoa! Legasp.
Oh, this was comics' first transvestite crime fighter, Madame Fatal, alter ego Richard Stanton. Actor.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, so this was a guy who assumed the guise of an old woman in a cape/shawl who doddered around the underworld fighting crime, trying to find his kidnapped daughter. That was his/her major motivation. He hooked up with a couple of bumbling detectives who helped him in his quest. And this went on for 22 issues, would you believe?
I would not believe it unless you told me. So, yeah.
The first 22 issues of Crack Comics, published by... And somebody must have been sniffing their comics namesake to it. Good grief. Yeah. Often cited as one of the weirdest, if not the worst, concepts to come out of Golden Age superhero comics. James Robinson knows and appreciates this character. He actually used him/her, and played him somewhat straight in the Shade maxi series that was published right after Flashpoint, the New 52.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Huh. Okay. All right.
There you are. Madame Fatal. Oh, and I also must mention that he had a pet parrot named Hamlet.
You got to mention a parrot. Yep.
Yes. And it's not the last parrot I will mention either.
Good. I'm glad there's more parrots.
There's more parrots.
And on top of that character there, gonna guess it's a Native American character, but it may just be the way that Kobush drew him, but I could be wrong.
It's not impossible that he has some Native American blood in his background. I mean, Roy Thomas did a lot to flesh said background out in the Young All-Stars, but he does have some unusual genes. I don't know if they're exactly indigenous American or not, but his name is Neptune Perkins.
Okay. And
he's the son of Ross and Miriam Perkins, and he's the grandson of Edgar Allan Poe's literary mariner A. Gordon Pym. That again is something that Roy Thomas came up He was created by Gardner Fox, and he made exactly two Golden Age appearances as like a supporting character in Hawkman stories. I think the Fox may have planned to spin him off into his own strip, but it never came about. So anyway, he's a guy who has salt deficiency and needs to spend a lot of his time in salt water. So he ended up living on a boat and becoming like an oceanographer, marine biologist type, and having adventures under the sea.
Like SpongeBob SquarePants. It all comes back around.
Yeah.
And then to the right there, we're just gonna skip Starman. No, not gonna talk about it at all. No. Sorry, Shane. No, not gonna happen. No,
it's all right. We all know who he is, Shane. We'll save him for you.
Yes, we do. Yep. Now to the right of Starman, there is that Shade, or is that someone else?
I did not think it was the Shade, because he's far more unkempt than we tend to think of the Shade.
That's why I wasn't quite sure, yeah.
But I had to put this one solid in the B column, because looking up the Shade's first appearance, I discovered that really was what he looked like when he first appeared. So this is points to Scott Koblish for doing the research on that one and giving him an authentic, version of the character treatment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We can't forget the man who is not Charles E. Cheese, directly in the middle there of TNT and Dynamite. So who dat?
Who indeed? That happens to be Presto Pete, the Magic Rabbit. And I think we can't be blamed for thinking that he's a mouse or a kangaroo or a coyote or almost anything but a rabbit, but that's what he's supposed to be. He appeared in the first 8 issues of DC's Funny Animal series Animal Antics, and he was actually featured on the cover of number 1.
Okay. All right. To the right there, the woman who looks like she just escaped from prison.
Okay. That is that is one of the archenemies of Zatara, Master Magician. She's the first DC character to be known as the Tigress. Mm-hmm. Her real identity was never revealed, I don't believe, but she clashed with Zatara several times, and her first appearance was actually the same as Zatara's, which happens to be Action Comics number 1.
Oh, wow.
If you happen to own the first appearance of Superman, you also own the first appearance of the Tigress.
Go figure. All right. Wouldn't have guessed that for the life of me. All right. And obviously directly underneath is the Golden Age Wonder Woman. In this era, this would technically be the second appearance of Hippolyta, correct? Because this is now Golden Age Wonder Woman, so I guess it would be the Hippolyta Wonder Woman.
Technically, but we've got a lot of characters who were retconned out by the existence. Well, we've got Earth 2 Superman on here, for example.
Sure, right.
So I think we have to think that this is Earth 1 or Earth 2 Diana, as opposed to post-crisis retcon Golden Age Hippolyta.
Fair enough. I'll give you that one. I almost missed the woman directly next to the Joker and Jimmy Olsen there.
Yeah, this is one that I have to put in the B column because I didn't recognize her for who she was because she was so far away from her soulmate and crime-fighting partner, who is so far away from her he's not even on this cover. If he's one of those Golden Age characters that Mr. Koblish forgot about and had to kind of squeeze into the left margin of the next issue's cover. But anyway, her name is Taya, T-A-I-A, and she is the bride and love eternal of the Fawcett Golden Age crime fighter Ibis the Invincible, who is another guy with a turban. He has a magic wand called the Ibis Stick, which lets him warp reality any way he wants to. And he's also an ancient Egyptian prince. But unlike Carter Hall, he didn't have to be reincarnated over the years to come back in the early 40s to fight Nazis. He was just mummified, and Taya mummified with him. And during a time of the world's greatest need, which of course was World War II, he woke up in the pages of Whiz Comics number 1. And his first objective was to find his way back to his lost love, Taya. And once they found each other, they stayed together and continued to fight crime and solve mysteries and whatnot for the rest of the Golden Age. And the two of them continued to appear in Whiz Comics from Whiz number 2 all the way through pretty much the end of that series.
Wow. Okay.
They were like Nick and Nora Charles meet Imhotep.
I like it.
Me too, Ian. Me too.
All right. Then
He's one of my favorite Golden Age Fawcett characters.
Yeah. Underneath there, we've got this guy in the red turtleneck.
No guesses?
Oh man. No, yeah, just go ahead.
Would it help if we shaved all that red hair off his head and left him bald?
Maybe. Ooh, it's not a Flash villain, is it?
Nope.
Okay, then I'm probably in the wrong field.
It's a Superman villain.
Oh, what is it? Lex?
It's Lex Luthor.
Oh my God! Wow.
Gotta get your hands on one of those facsimile copies of Action number 23 they put out a few months ago.
Yeah, wow.
Reprints his first appearance. And yeah,
and
he did actually have some red hair in the early days.
Okay.
That's why if you look at the Earth 2 Luthor's Who's Who entry, he's got red hair.
Sure. Right. And I remember from Crisis on Infinite Earths as well when we saw, that version of Lex Luthor. It's just I don't imagine him in a red suit like that.
It's like a robe or a gown or a cassock. He fancied himself kind of a priest or a cult leader for a while there before he got super into science.
Got it. And next to him, I would swear that was like a Reverse Flash type character to the right, but wrong color and wrong era, so clearly not.
True and true. Let me see if I can dig up my notes on this guy, who is another kind of Golden Age, where are they now kind of figure. But he was more successful in the Golden Age than you'd think. Dag burn it. Why can I never find out? Okay, got him. Okay. This is Airwave.
Oh, that's Airwave. Okay.
Yep, the original Golden Age Airwave. Larry Jordan, who by coincidence happened to have the same surname as a much later and better known character, Hal Jordan, and eventually was retconned into Hal Jordan's family, so that his son, Hal Jordan the Younger, Hal's cousin once removed or something, became like a protege of Green Lantern Hal Jordan's. But yeah, back in the Golden Age, Larry Jordan was an intern in the office of the Brooklyn DA. So he's a Brooklyn hero, Ian.
Yeah.
Out of respect. Representing the neighborhood there.
Damn right.
Yep, and his shtick was that Helmet picked up police radio broadcasts, and also he had high-powered roller skates that let him roller skate along telephone wires to get from place to place.
Okay.
A couple of really strange gimmicks. Plus, he had a pet parrot named Static, who spoke exclusively in proverbs and mixed metaphors.
You were promised another parrot, and gosh darn it, you got your second parrot.
Leave it to the Murd to deliver on his parrot promises.
Love it.
Parrot in every stew pot and a roller skate in every garage. Anyway, Airwave. He appeared. His feature ran from Detective Comics number 760 through Detective number 137.
Oh, wow.
That's like 6.5 years this strip ran.
Man.
So he wasn't a flash in the pan. People were actually reading Airwave, apparently.
Yeah, considering that, plenty of the other characters that you've mentioned, like he had 2 appearances, or he had 1.5 appearances, or he was in one panel of in the left corner next to Green Lantern. Like, no, this guy ran for a while. Yep. Okay. Go figure.
Yep.
All right. Let's move directly next to the very successful Airwave, to the man who is cut off by Wonder Woman's lasso.
Yes, and is sniffing her armpit as we speak.
Yes.
Okay, I mentioned earlier that there was another character on here that appeared in Dr. 13, Architecture and Morality. Well, this is he. This is a guy called Genius Jones.
Okay.
He was born John Jones, not on Mars, but on Earth, Earth 2. But yeah, he was known as Genius Jones. Genius Jones, the Answer Man. His backstory was, as a child, he was shipwrecked on an island with nothing but 743 books to keep him company. And during the 10 years he spent shipwrecked on that island, he read all of those books over and over again until he memorized them. Ultimately, he had to burn them in order to attract the attention of a passing ship and get himself rescued, but by then he'd memorized them. And when he returned to civilization, he decided to make use of all that knowledge he'd stored up in his cranium as a freelance problem solver and troubleshooter. He would solve any problem and answer any question for 10 cents. At first up, he set up like a Lucy Van Pelt style help booth, but then he started traveling the country and the world, solving problems for a dime.
Okay.
So that's the Ballad of Genius Jones.
Good for Genius Jones. May he enjoy smelling that armpit for the rest of his life. All right. I almost missed Man in Purple on top of Wonder Woman there. So
Stop
how
putting
can we?
people on top of people, Ian.
I mean,
Is
look.
this slash fiction or something? It's
How else are you going to use descriptors? I mean, I'm telling you, man. But okay, fine. The man who's slightly above Wonder Woman. There we go.
peering innocently over her shoulder. Yes,
Exactly.
Yes, he's wearing a costume that looks very much like the one that Sandman ultimately adopted. When he became a more of a straight superhero as opposed to a mystery man.
Yep.
But this guy actually had that purple and yellow suit about 2 months before Sandman started wearing it. And this is another little thread that Roy Thomas knitted together here by establishing a connection between the two. But actually, this guy is the Tarantula. This is what he originally looked like in the Golden Age. Tarantula the Spider-Man. And yes, he was called that. He was created by Mort Weisinger, and he appeared in the first 19 issues of Star Spangled Comics, 1941 through 1943. Not a very long run, but enough to make an impression on somebody, I guess. His alter ego was writer John Law, and he had a housekeeper named Olga who made that suit for him.
We would like to thank Olga very much for the stitching. I think that worked out very well for him. Now, a note that remember, there's no dash in that Spider-Man. So
yes, that is true.
Yes, so that would have been different there. But looking at his later costume, that one's not very good either.
Oh, you're looking at the one from All-Star Squadron, the brown.
Yeah. This one's more yellow, actually. On the Wikipedia entry, they have one that's like that has more yellow tones to it than brown. With like kind of like a tarantula mask with like a spider in the middle of it.
Oh, and you can see his hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's the one that was designed for him in All-Star Squadron, so he didn't look quite so much like Sandman for one thing, and
Got it.
Just looked cooler in general.
Yeah.
And I always did like that brown and black suit.
All right. Go figure. We're gonna go to the right and to Danny Trejo there.
It's true. It's true.
He looks just like him. Whether he meant it or not, he drew Danny Trejo.
Yeah. Well, what he thought he was drawing was the Red Gaucho. This is he's a South American cowboy. He's actually supposed to be white. He's the son of American Caucasian parents who was orphaned and raised in Argentina, grew up on the Pampas down there, and grew up to become a freedom fighter or something. He made 11 appearances in Fawcett Comics.
Okay. I believe Nickel Comics was the name of the strip. Yep.
Nickel Comics, and also a couple in Master Comics.
Okay. And then to Wonder Woman's right armpit, we have another man in a turban.
Yes. And another lesser-known Fawcett Comics character. His name is El Karim, which happens to be Miracle spelled backwards. Mm-hmm. And he appeared in the first 32 issues of Master Comics, which is another Fawcett superhero anthology series, which produced several of their better-known characters. El Karim is not one of them. He wore a turban, and he pretended to be a stage magician, and he was headquartered in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
He did magic. That's about all I can really say about him.
Magic. Not illusions, magic.
Yes, magic.
Okay. On top of Danny Trejo, that is not D-Man. We swear that is not D-Man. That's over in Marvel.
No. And this guy, a little smarter than Dennis Dunphy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've encountered this guy before, I'm sure.
I have, yeah.
Yeah. This is Père Degaton, who is kind of like a time-traveling would-be fascist dictator.
Yep.
And he's right now I'm reading the first year's worth of that Jeff Johns and Dan Jurgens Booster Gold series.
Oh, nice.
And Père Degaton figures prominently there. Yep, he's a guy. He used to be just a lab assistant to a scientist named Professor Malachi Z, I believe, who invented a time machine. And several times he used that machine to wreak havoc, and his fate is always to have the whole thing be undone by superheroes, and he ends up back in Dr. Z's lab not remembering any of it and thinking he just constantly being reduced back to a schlub lab resistant, which is exactly the fate men of such ambition as his deserve.
Yep. He's also appeared in Legends of Tomorrow in one form or another, and was in an episode of Brave and the Bold, the animated series, when that was on.
He has made the rounds of other media.
Yes, he has. To the direct right of Perdegaton, he's in the flesh-colored top there with a swimmer's hat.
Okay, this guy shares a first appearance with Plastic Man. Right? They both first appeared in Police Comics #1 from Quality, and this is the guy that Quality apparently thought was going to be the breakout star of that anthology. Things kind of broke differently than they expected. Because Plastic Man was the big success, and he's one of the most famous comic book characters ever, whereas this guy is Firebrand, and not that many people have heard of him. His real name is Rod Riley. He's like a millionaire playboy. His father was a wealthy steel tycoon, and he had no superpowers. He was just athletic. He had a sidekick who was like a prize fighter goon type, whose name is escaping me at the moment. But anyway, he used to leave little miniature torches burning at the scenes of the crimes that he broke up. And DC has had a couple of other he showed up in the Freedom Fighters series in the 70s, but there have been a couple of other Firebrands since then, including one that Roy Thomas introduced, and partly based on his then wife, Danette. And she was Danette Riley, and she was Rod Riley's sister.
Okay.
But this is the original Firebrand right here.
Got it. Captain America-looking dude directly next to him.
Yeah, he's not exactly Captain America. He's not even exactly human. This guy is another kind of out of left field Quality Comics obscurity. His name is Wonder Boy. And that is the only name that was ever revealed for him. We're not even sure that he had another name or that it was pronounceable in our language. I'd say that he was inspired by The Little Prince from the French children's novel of the same name, except that he actually predates The Little Prince by a little bit. He was a strange visitor from another planet who rode a meteor to our planet after his planet, Viro, was destroyed by a collision with a different meteorite. He came to Earth and wandered the planet, righting various wrongs, constantly wondering why and how humans were capable of being so cruel to one another. And he ran for 2 years in National Comics, alongside Quality's Uncle Sam.
Okay. Wonder Boy, what is the secret of his power? Tenacious D fans, you're welcome. All right.
Yep, I am not one of those, I mean, it's not that I don't like Tenacious D.
No. By all means. Directly next to him, would that be Blue Beetle? Would that be...
it would be a Blue Beetle, yes. Yeah. I think what we're being treated to here is one of the Golden Age iterations of the Blue Beetle. And this is not even the Charlton Comics Blue Beetle. This is not the Earth 4 Blue Beetle. It's Dan Garrett, but it's Garrett with one T. And this is the golden. This is not the Charlton Dan Garrett who was an archaeologist and found that scarab and whatever. This is a beat cop, a police officer named Dan Garrett, who was given a super vitamin by a kindly neighborhood pharmacist, which he then swallowed in order to gain superpowers and fight criminals. And he had a couple different costumes. The first one of which was basically a Shadow ripoff. Eventually, he came to look more like this, like we see here. And he had a kid sidekick named Sparky.
Sparky.
Sparky, yeah. And he was published by Fox Features Syndicate, which was started by an ex-DC employee named Victor Fox. So he's very much not a DC character, or wasn't in the 30s when he made his first appearance, but retroactively, like all the Quality and Fawcett characters, I guess he gets put in here with all the other DC Golden Age greats.
Okay. On top of him there... I recognize her, but I don't recognize her. And then obviously Cheetah directly next to her. But
yep, we'll just mark down Cheetah here. That's Priscilla Rich, the Golden Age Cheetah.
Of course, but the other woman is that a Wonder Woman villain as well, or?
Actually, she's a hero.
Oh wow, okay.
Just, she's not all that well known. She's another one of these weirdo outlier Quality characters. Her name is Wildfire, and her alter ego was Carol Vance Martin. Her backstory was that when she was a little girl, her family died in a forest fire, but a fire god, the Lord of the Fire, saw her, admired her bravery standing up against his flames, and decided, I shall spare her, and make her invulnerable to flame, and give her command of my flames in the future. So little Carol Vance was adopted by the wealthy Martin family and grew up as Carol Vance Martin, and when she became a teenager, she manifested these fire powers, which she used to fight criminals.
All right.
Yep, she appeared in Smash Comics number 25 through 37, and actually she was one character that Roy Thomas had planned to include in All-Star Squadron, but his editors at DC nixed it because DC already had a character named Wildfire. He's a member of the Legion of Superheroes,
right?
And they didn't want confusion. So it was actually because of that that Roy Thomas created the female Firebrand.
Okay. There you go. Okay. So nice circumstance there to lead to a new creation.
Yep. And this one goes in the B column for me because thanks to reading all the letter columns of my back issues of All-Star Squadron, I've heard of the character, but I didn't recognize her when I finally saw her on paper.
Okay. I don't think we talked about, speaking of fire, the man who appears to be half fire and ice directly next to her to the far right there.
All right, buckle up here, Ian.
Oh boy, here we go. All right, hold on. Ugh, should I grab whiskey? Like, is it that type of story? All right,
well, it's not that long, but
okay, good.
This guy, I actually have in my notes here, WTF, Koblish, because this guy, we get a better look at his face here than on the actual cover of the issue because it cuts off his face halfway through, so you can't see that he's half fire and half ice.
Oh, that's funny.
But he is. This guy, apparently his name is Atmos Fear. First name Atmos, last name Fear, F-E-A-R.
Okay.
He's a 13-year-old kid. He has witches and warlocks in his family background, which explains why he was born with the magical ability to generate temperatures 300 degrees above or below zero. And these are powers that he used to mug a lady wrestler named Daffy Dill. And in fact, said lady wrestler Daffy Dill was the star of the strip in which this character appeared once in Smash Comics number 44.
Amazing. Amazing.
Of all the Golden Age characters he could have included, but didn't. He gives us this guy who appears in one issue of a B series starring a lady wrestler in Smash Comics number 44. It's just a case of Koblish liking the character's design and happening to be aware of its existence and wanting to draw it on this cover because he's in no way a significant figure in comics history in any way, shape, or form. I mean, he wasn't even the star of the strip. He was a one-off villain for a lady wrestler.
And the style that he drew him in too, like he almost looks like he's out of a Miyazaki film, like with the eyes and the scowl the way he has. Like clearly he found this character existed, like you said, and was like, that's a cool ass character. He appeared once.
Visual, and don't deny that, but still,
yeah,
there's lots of other cool looking characters who appeared, more than once that he probably could have slipped in here instead of that guy. So
yeah.
Unless I'm completely off base here, unless I'm totally out of line, and this atmosphere is more important than I think it is, I reiterate my earlier WTF.
Atmosphere. You gotta love it.
He didn't even put Daffy Dill herself on this cover anywhere. See, that was the other possibility for Giganta back there. That could possibly have been Daffy Dill, because that is more or less what Daffy Dill looked like, except she never wore, like, the loincloth. She tended to wear more, like, white tank top and hot pants to do her wrestling.
Meanwhile, I want to know how he slipped Electro from Spider-Man on this cover, because really, like, no, that's not who that is, but still, like the headpiece is most definitely Electro.
We have creativity in mask design here.
Clearly,
believe it or not, that is the Golden Age Evil Star. Okay, his real name is Guy Pumpton, and he was a crooked film distributor, and he faced off against the JSA in one issue of All-Star Comics, number 44. He was created by a young writer named John Broome, who would reuse the name Evil Star some years later as a Hal Jordan Green Lantern villain.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, boy. Bottom of the barrel right there,
We
baby.
got some live ones here.
Yeah, we do. Directly underneath Evil Star there, that's not Vandal Savage, but he has his beard.
Actually, I mean, I don't have a note on this character because he's completely cut off the cover of the actual issue. But
Okay.
I will bet you money that that is in fact Vandal Savage.
Oh,
Despite
wow.
the 20 ears. I think that's how Vandal Savage was drawn in his Golden Age appearances when he was a member of the Injustice Society.
All right, go figure. There's also a Manhunter robot directly underneath Vandal Savage.
Not a Manhunter robot, but a human crime fighter who was, via retcon from the 80s, influenced by Manhunter robots.
Okay,
To adopt
understood.
that look. That is a Simon and Kirby creation, Paul Kirk Manhunter.
Okay.
He was a big game hunter who decided to hunt the most dangerous game, man. Criminal man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that was the costume he wore.
And there were later Manhunters that looked absolutely nothing like that.
Yes, and there were also later Manhunter robots who did look exactly like that.
Exactly.
This is taking us back to the 40s, though. This was the first he's not the first Manhunter character in all of comics. He's not even the first DC Manhunter because, just to confuse Golden Age history buffs, this Manhunter, the Blue Mask guy, he was immediately preceded. Like his strip ran in. I'm gonna have to look up the exact issue number, but I think it was Adventure Comics. Paul Kirk.
Adventure Comics issue 58.
That was his.
Yep. That's what Wikipedia has as a first appearance for Kirk. Would be Adventure Comics issue 58, cover date January 1941.
I thought it was earlier than that, but I'm not going to argue with Wikipedia. Well, anyway, but I know that immediately before that issue, there was another strip called Paul Kirk Manhunter, which is just like a private eye, hard-boiled private eye strip. And originally, Simon and Kirby wanted this guy to be called Rick Nelson. But I guess the editor or somebody at DC decided to create some bizarre form of continuity from the old but completely unrelated Paul Kirk Manhunter strip. And in this Manhunter's second appearance, his name was changed from Rick Nelson to Paul Kirk, and he remained Paul Kirk ever since. So we just have to face the fact that there were two different guys on Earth 2 named Paul Kirk, who, yes, a private eye who was a Manhunter, and a superhero who called himself Manhunter.
Yep. Yeah. In fact, even the Wikipedia heading for it says Paul Kirk, Rick Nelson, Paul Kirk. And then you get the Dan Richards. So yeah.
Yeah, and we will get to him later because he was the first to have the name technically.
Yep, definitely. All right, to the very left of this Manhunter, is that Dr. Midnight or is that someone else?
That's someone else. That
Okay.
is a classic Wiz Comics character, a Fawcett Comics character. Now, I mentioned Mr. Scarlet was kind of like the Batman of Earth S. Well, this guy is just equally deserving of that designation. This is Alan Armstrong, the Spy Smasher, and he smashed spies. Yeah, he was a Virginia sportsman who was also kind of an amateur inventor. He had a special vehicle. Who again, I wish Koblish had drawn in the upper left corner his gyro sub. He was known for it, and he fought Nazis riding around in that thing. And he was the subject of one of the first the superhero crossover stories.
Wow.
Possibly the first in Fawcett Comics history when he encountered Captain Marvel.
Nice.
So, yep, he was the Spy Smasher. Once the war ended, he kind of went to plain clothes and just fought normal crime as the Crime Smasher, but that never caught on quite as well.
And then directly next to him, that would be Max Mercury, right?
It would be eventually, but in the Golden Age, he was known as Quicksilver.
There you go. Okay.
The Max Mercury moniker was come up with by Mark Waid much later on. But this guy was an authentic Golden Age adventurer. He was a Quality Comics character. I believe he was created by Jack Cole, who also created Plastic Man. Let's see if I can verify that if I can find my notes on this guy.
There you go.
Here we go. Quicksilver, the Laughing Robin Hood of Crime was his nickname. Yep, he was created by Jack Cole. He was semi-unique in that no secret identity was ever afforded. He was never shown out of costume, so not even the readers knew who he really was. But we did know that he was very fleet of foot. He had super speed and super agility. He was very acrobatic. And he also had an offensive Asian valet named Who Me. Sorry to mention that.
Shockingly, Mark Waid did not use that.
Yeah, and he's not on this cover either. That's just as well.
Yeah.
But Quicksilver actually made 70 appearances in mostly in National Comics, and ran from 1940 through 49, pretty much the whole length of the Golden Age.
Okay. Yeah. Damn good reason why Mark Waid then retooled him and made him Max Mercury years later. So
Yep. And he actually had an entry in the 80s Who's Who under the name of Quicksilver.
there you go.
So he was out there, and he was a speedster nobody was using, so Mark Waid, he did some really interesting and creative things, filling in the blanks that Jack Cole left in his backstory back in the 40s.
But he's not nearly as creative as the man to the left of him that I almost missed. Bare-chested man with cape, which is definitely a look, I must say.
Yes. Not often repeated look either. I can tell you that the guy's name is Joe Hercules.
Ah, yes.
Aren't you glad you asked?
I'm so glad I asked. Let me guess, he doesn't have the powers of Hercules.
No, but he is superhumanly strong.
Okay.
And for reasons not really gone into. He worked as a carny strongman. He came home from time out on the road to find that his mother had died of a heart attack. He believed she was the victim of foul play, and set out to bring her murderers to justice, which he eventually did. He was a little bit of a comic figure, honestly. He was a carny, a vagrant, a Midwestern lunkhead, but he was kind of close to Siegel and Schuster's early draft of what Superman would be. Okay. Superhumanly strong, inspired by strong man of myth, legend, and so forth, but with a definite element of humor. And that's kind of what Joe Hercules was. He was like Superman with some like Al Cap, little Abner panache thrown in.
Okay.
Yep, and he ran for 22 issues in Hit Comics from 1940 through 1942. Oh, and like several other Golden Age heroes, he got the inspiration to start wearing a costume and fighting crime by reading one of his publisher's other comic books.
There you go.
Somebody handed him a Doll Man comic when he was in Pokey briefly for attacking the people who he thought killed his mother. So he was inspired by Doll Man, which might explain their similar taste in pop collars.
Okay. We'll go directly far right to him. Next right, that is, to that red domino masked fellow.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is another one of Uncle Sam's retcon first wave of freedom fighters. He's another Quality Comics character. He's Jim Lockhart, who, similar to Wild Bill Dunn, who invented the Blue Tracer. Remember when I mentioned that like 2 hours ago?
Yep.
This is another super vehicle. It's a flying submarine. It's one of the cooler Golden Age vehicles, and the strip was called the Red Torpedo in honor of the vehicle. And eventually Jim Lockhart, the inventor and pilot of the Red Torpedo, became known as the Red Torpedo himself. He was created by cartoonist Henry Kiefer, and he ran in the first 20 issues of Crack Comics. He was a former Navy engineer, and he invented this red flying submarine thing, the Battle of the Nazis, of course. And, that's another super vehicle that I really wish Scott Koblish had found room to draw.
I feel like there should have just been an entirely separate variant with just all the vehicles, just literally all of them. Yeah.
It could be like the issue of the Marvel Handbook that was just like weapons and paraphernalia.
Yep. And then directly next to him, to the right, in blue there with red accents.
Yes, all right. This guy I knew on sight. This is Fawcett Publications' infamous Masterman. And it took a much longer time to successfully legally accuse or convict Captain Marvel of Superman plagiarism. But this guy, Masterman, who appeared in the first 6 issues of Master Comics, he was legally convicted pretty quickly of being a Superman knockoff, and Fawcett was told to cease and desist publishing him, and that was okay because nobody really liked him anyway. Nothing to him. He had superpowers, he had a headquarters on top of a mountain somewhere, and he took a super chemical called a Vitacap to get powers.
Oy
He appeared 6 times. That's all there is to him.
I'm looking at the costume for the Kid Eternity villain, Masterman 2, and that amusingly enough has more of a Superman look to him than the original Masterman did. So go figure. Yep. Yeah, looking at him right now, he has like a well, okay, it's not quite Superman, but still, he at least has like an outfit and a cape, and this version, not really, but
No, he did
yeah,
not have a cape.
no, yep. All right, we are going to move ourselves over to the third squadron here and go back all the way to the left. And try to take off where we left off. Hopefully, I am exactly where that is. Yep, there's right under Ma Hunkel. Let's get us to that man with the sword who was cutting off not the spirit earlier.
Yeah, right, right. Whichever not spirit that is, you decide. Okay, that is the literary character Ivanhoe from the Sir Walter Scott novel of the same name. And that was adapted by Major Malcolm Wheeler Nicholson. I know I've got. Is this all the way down in the third tier? Is that why I'm not finding it?
I think it might be because we're close to the third tier basically. So.
Yep. Okay, so yes. So yeah, he appeared in issues 1 through 27 of New Fun, More Fun. So he did. Ivanhoe dates all the way back to the beginnings of DC Comics.
All right, very good. And directly to his right there, that is one hell of a beard.
Wow, yeah. Well, his name is Captain Grimm. It suits him. It's about the only name we ever got for him, not even a first name. He was the star character of a feature called In the Wake of the Wanderer, which is the name of his ship, which was later retitled Seagold. It began in New Fun number 3 and ran from 1935 to 1937. He's just another kind of generic mariner figure.
Go figure, right? And I would like to definitely know more about the three people directly to his right that I'm just going to call the Ghostbusters, because that's the general feel and personality that I get for these Golden Age characters.
You know what? You might as well call them that. But it's not far from the truth. They are the Ghost Patrol.
Wow. Okay. All
Impressive
right.
yank there, Ian.
Yeah, nicely done. All right.
Yep. And so-called, not because they patrol for ghosts, but because they are ghosts and they go on patrol for bad guys, mostly Nazis.
Love it.
Yep. They were a surprisingly long-running feature. They first appeared in Flash Comics number 29 and ran all the way through Flash Comics number 104, which was the last issue of its Golden Age run. They lasted as long as Flash and Hawkman did once they got started. So, yep, I think they were stationed in Africa. They might have been Foreign Legion people. Their names were Fred, Pedro, and Slim. Slim is the chubby one in the middle, and Pedro's the one with the mustache.
Sure.
And Fred's the other one. And they all died as a result of enemy sabotage, but through some strange supernatural intervention, they remained semi-solid and semi-alive. They could actually have solidify their ectoplasmic bodies when the need arose. And they used that ability to, fight the bad guys.
Wow. Good. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one right there. That's as close a poll as I could have possibly given. Nice.
Not everybody would jump directly from Skull and Crossbones to Ghost, but you made that leap, Ian.
There you go. Clearly, it's not my first rodeo.
Indeed not, but it may be your longest.
Yes, it is. Back to the far left there. That captain-looking fellow directly underneath.
Okay, now he's part of a trio there. Him and the army chap right below him and the saluting sailor next to him. Those three are collectively known as Red, White, and Blue.
Okay.
Yep, their names are Red Dugan, he's the Marine, Whitey Smith, he's the Army guy, and Bluey Blue, who's the sailor. These three, collectively known as Red, White, and Blue, they were created by Jerry Siegel, and they ran in the first 71 issues of All American Comics from 1939 through 1946. And they were three buddies who came from the same hometown. They all enlisted in 3 different branches of the armed services and somehow found themselves working together as like a special ops unit, doing special military missions with the aid of their handler, Doris West, who is not Lois Lane.
No. What legally different, we swear. Even though, also DC, but, yeah.
Yeah, yes, and also Jerry Siegel.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, versions of these guys, very different versions, appear in Kingdom Come. But that's not saying much because different versions of a lot of people appear in Kingdom Come. You just gotta look for them.
Of course, yeah. Directly to the right of this trio is totally not Spike from Buffy, but he looks exactly like him.
Kinda, yeah. The pale skin and the yellowish hair, almost as if it were bleached.
Yep.
All right, okay. Got him. Okay. That guy's name is Barry O'Neill.
How very creative and different of a name.
Well, I don't know. He had to be kind of original because he's one of the earliest DC Comics characters, because he first appeared in that seminal New Fun #1, all the way back in 1935.
Nice.
He ran through 1941, except 1938. He took 1938 off. He was one of those characters who was originated by Major Malcolm Wheeler Nicholson. And he was a Playboy adventurer and special consultant to French intelligence, Rimshot. And his arch enemy was, he was a Fu Manchu knockoff and offensive Asian stereotype named Fang Gao.
Oh,
but
no.
Fang Gao, having first appeared in New Fun Comics #1, arguably the first DC comic, and becoming a recurring nemesis of Barry O'Neill, he's arguably the first recurring supervillain in DC Comics history.
I mean, that's a feat in and of itself right there.
Yep. I think we'd rather that honor be bestowed on a character that's not, a racial stereotype.
Yeah, but also, am I surprised? No, I am not.
It's 1935.
Exactly. It was the 90s. That's one of my favorite jokes that Weekend Update Michael Che uses all the time. Like whenever a joke doesn't land, he's just like, "Come on, it was the 90s."
I'm going to put that one in my back pocket. I may use that sometime.
Nice. All right. So are these 3 in blue all related, or is it just the 2 in the police uniforms that are related?
It's just the 2 in the police uniforms that are related.
Okay, then let's talk about first man in blue and then talk about the policeman.
Oh, okay. First man in blue. His name is Wing Brady. Okay, he's another aviator type. He's a pilot for the French for a lot of legionnaires around here. He was a pilot for the French Foreign Legion, and he was also a spy. He was created by Henry Schaefer, and he ran from New Fun #1 through More Fun #52.
There you go. All right. And we've now gone long enough that I poured myself a beverage anyway.
All right, I still got a couple microliters of water here.
Yeah, my beer fridge happens to be directly next to me, so I was able to lean over while you were discussing one of them and make it happen.
Smart man to keep alcohol nearby. Began doing this.
Yep, definitely. And then the Hill Street Blues directly next to him.
Hill Street Blues. All right. These guys are Officer Larry Trent and Officer Sandy Keene of the NYPD, and those names may not mean much to you. Goodness knows they didn't mean anything to me, but they are the starring characters of a name that did mean something to me, Radio Squad, which is another one of Siegel and Schuster's early feature sales to DC Comics. They're just cops that have misadventures in the city of New York. And you can think of them as like a slightly less silly precursor to Car 54, Where Are You? But it's probably more accurate to think of them as a knockoff of Calling All Cars, which is a classic radio drama, which Shane has probably heard of.
Yeah.
So these are the 2 central characters of that. Siegel and Schuster sold this to DC, and it ran for 76 issues between 1936 and 1943.
Excellent. The guy underneath them looks more like Alfred than Golden Age Alfred, I must say. Like, if you were to tell me that this was Alfred, I would believe you, but it's not.
If this were Alfred on the 1940s down low, then I think I'd go along with that.
Yeah.
This guy's name, I think I can find him if I squint real hard. Where is he?
While you do try to find him, I will point out that I am currently drinking a Running Redcoat Red Ale. For the historical references out there, Chris Eberly, you're welcome.
See, what a guy! Ian's recommending pairings for this exercise in DC history.
Yep.
So what pairs well with that particular vintage? It's Cap'n Eric.
Okay.
Another little-known Mariner. He appeared in exactly 2 issues of New Fun Comics, #1 and #2. He's the captain of a ship named the Viking, and he's a seal hunter. So, boo.
Okay. Okay. So cap in, not captain, is a CAP apostrophe N?
It is that, yes.
Wow. Okay.
Cap'n
All right.
Eric with a K.
All right. I like it. I like it. Okay. Now moving directly to the right of him, an actual man in red who's not a red coat, I'm guessing, but still.
No, but the color red does figure into his identity.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very important, very early DC mystery man.
Mm-hmm.
Can you name him, Ian?
Red Ghost?
No, that's the guy with the apes over at Marvel.
Right. My bad. Okay. All right. Fine. I give up.
Okay, it's the Crimson Avenger.
Crimson Avenger. Okay. All right.
So he's kind of a first-generation Shadow knockoff.
Mm-hmm.
He wears that on his sleeve even more so than Batman ever did.
Yeah.
Yep, so he's been around since the early days of Detective Comics. He looked like that. Eventually, he adopted that superhero costume, the red suit with the fin on the head and the sun or bullet hole logo right in the middle of the chest.
It's funny. My brain combined the Batman the Animated Series Gray Ghost. Yeah, and that's why I'm like, wait, Red Ghost? Like, oh yeah, no. Wrong direction. Yeah.
That is indeed Lee Travis, crusading newspaper publisher, a.k.a. the Crimson Avenger. Or the Crimson, as he was sometimes called.
And then to his right, a bunch of Popeye characters.
Yep. Well, it's probably not an accident. Popeye was pretty popular.
Yeah.
But yeah, those 3 we already covered just before Chris left.
Yes, you're right. I forgot about the other 2 there. We're all part of that. Okay. Did we get the guy... so... The guy under the wheel, is he part of them, or is that someone else?
Well, no, that's actually a different, albeit similar, strip. Him and the guy in the furs on the other side of the broom. They're underneath the car wheel.
Yep.
Okay, the guy in the furs is known as Captain Spinnaker, Captain George Spinnaker, and that was spelled like 6 different ways in the course of its brief run in the comics.
Yeah.
And the other guy was his second banana... Blasted, I just had it, yeah. Captain Sternpipe, later Mr. Sternpipe, when Spinnaker tricked Captain Sternpipe out of his own ship, the good ship Lollipop, and demoted him to first mate. So Spinnaker is kind of a pseudo-intellectual Arctic explorer, and Mr. Sternpike is basically Poop Deck Pappy from Popeye.
Yeah.
The 2 of them had some adventures up in the Arctic Circle, then they made their way down to the South Seas and settled on Few Island. It's Pheu. Yep, and so this strip ran in New Fun Comics from #2 on, 1935 to 1937. It was for laughs.
Yeah, it certainly seems like it. Now, the woman, is that a man or a woman in the bucket?
That happens to be a man.
Okay. All right.
Not just any man, that's the ferocious Fat Man.
Of course it is. Oy-vey.
I mean, who else would it be? Yeah, clearly, Scott Koblish has a certain fondness for Mr. America as a character. Because this guy is one of a couple of sidekicks of Mr. America who is on this cover. His real name is Bob Daly, and I think he's been with Mr. America way back into his pre-costume days when he was just Tex Thompson, like a former oil catter and professional oil wildcatter and professional adventurer. And so he was the overweight Bob, who has a mustache underneath that bucket, I might add, and wears glasses. He just kind of palled around with Tex Thompson as he went around the world. And when Tex Thompson became Mr. America, not wanting to feel left out, Bob donned that costume and became Fat Man.
No, Fat Man. No, Fat Man.
And if you read James Robinson's Golden Age, you will encounter Bob Daly in that story. And there's even a couple panels of him with the bucket and the broom.
Good. I would want it no other way, honestly.
I want it fat way. Chris, you don't know what you're missing, man.
I know. I've already decided we're gonna get through this cover and I'm cutting it into two parts. We'll have part one and we'll have part two probably at about a 2 hour mark because I know us, but we're so close to the bottom of this freaking thing that like I feel like we need to get there. So
yes, we do. We just need to power through.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get to Giant Neck Man to the right of the Fat Man.
Giant Neck Man. Okay, there are some Golden Age sidekicks that Mr. Koblish chose to include, and some he didn't. And I'm happy to see the ones that he included. This one's a little not one of the best known. Now this is Hiram Skinner, nicknamed Stretch. He come from down south, and he talked like this, and he come to the big city to learn to be a detective. Yes, so kind of like Alfred and a lot of other second bananas in Golden Age comics, he wanted to be a detective. And so this tall drink of water from down south came to the big city, Hiram Stretch Skinner, and he hooked up with Wildcat. He is like the comedy relief for Wildcat's strip in Sensation Comics.
Okay. Nice. So I don't forget him. Let's go with the man directly on top of his, to the right of the neck, basically, right there under the car, but just kind of looks very unassuming. I'd say.
Yep. He's an easy one to miss and an easy one to forget. He was a humor character called Ol Oz Bop. O-Z space B-O-P-P, Oz Bop. He's a kind of a curmudgeonly old small-town gent, and he had a strip in New Adventure Comics for about 2 years. Okay. I got nothing else.
That's fine by me. All right, I'm going to go back this way and down so we can get to the bottom of this area here. And this once again, Shadow Dick Tracy looking mofo over here.
Okay, this is the distantly aforementioned Dr. Occult.
There you go. Okay.
Dr. Richard Occult, the ghost detective, who was another one of Siegel and Schuster's early pre-Superman sales to DC. He first appeared in New Fun number 6. And he's holding his mystic symbol of the seven, that disc with the Maltese cross on it that he's holding. Mm-hmm. Yep. And he and his partner Rose Psychic battled supernatural opponents. Once he actually put on like tights and a cape to battle a supernatural bad guy called Cuff. Mm-hmm. So he jumped on the costume bandwagon for a while there.
Okay.
Yeah. His real name was Dr. Richard Occult. And there's a little moment inside this issue when we get around to talking about it concerning Dr. Occult that really impressed me as far as Mark Waid doing his research for this project.
Yeah. And boy, oh boy, did he do his frickin' research.
Expect nothing less from the king of DC history.
Absolutely. To the direct right of him looks like a man who probably eats a Taco Bell, but I could be wrong.
That, senor, is the Whip, who is kind of like a modern day being like 1941 Zorro. His real name was Rodney Gaynor, although eventually it was retconned that his real first name was Rodrigo. He's a descendant of another Whip who was even more of a Zorro knockoff, like a 19th century nobleman named Don Fernando Suarez, who defended the town of Seguro from bad men. And starting in Flash Comics #1, this Whip did the same thing. Okay.
To his direct right, someone who looks like he's a fan of Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, well, I think he was gunslinging when Clint Eastwood was in diapers. This is a classic DC cowboy character. There is no more classic DC cowboy than him, Jack Woods of the Texas Rangers.
Okay.
Not only did he first appear in New Fun #1, arguably the first DC comic, he was the cover feature. So that makes him, you could say chronologically, the first ever DC Comics character.
Wow.
Interesting bit of trivia you got there. So that takes us all the way back to 1935.
Wow, boy howdy. Okay. Glad he was included for that very reason. The two kids who look like they could probably fit into a Spielberg movie.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Yeah, Koblish made them look a lot more interesting than they did in their actual early appearances. But yeah, these are characters that I definitely put in column C here, both of them. Their names are Bobby and Binks.
Hmm.
Binks is the girl. And that thing that they're holding between them is the title object of the series in which they appeared, the Magic Crystal of History.
Ooh.
It's unknown what the relationship between these two kids are, whether they're brother and sister, or boyfriend and girlfriend, or whether they escaped from the same orphanage together, who knows. But they first showed up in New Fun #1, so once again, straight back to the beginning of DC history, and they ran in 50 issues of that series.
Oh, wow.
No flash in the pan were they. For the first 11 issues, their story begins when they run into like a creepy old house to get out of the rain, and they find this crystal ball there, and it transports them back to the days of ancient Egypt. And for their first 11 appearances in New Fun, they visited various dynasties of ancient Egypt, but for the rest of their 50-issue run, they kept it a little more safe and tame, and they returned to the 20th century, and instead of actually going to these exciting historic eras, the magic crystal would just tell them about them. So it was educational.
Certainly. Okay. All right. It's like kind of reminds me a little bit of the animated series Hysteria a little bit.
Oh man, Ian, I lived for Hysteria during my sophomore year of college. Loved that show to pieces. I kind of had a crush on Pepper Mills.
Oh man, good times right there. Near the end of the Kids WB era. Yep.
Yeah.
Are all of these guys related down here? All these animal-looking fellas, or are they all their own separate thing?
Most of them are traveling in pairs, actually.
Okay, got it. All right. Well, then let's grab the pairs here. I'm guessing these two directly next to each other, left and right, are the first pair.
They are the first pair. Believe it or not, despite the fact that they appear to be of different species, they're a father and son. Well, adoptive father and adoptive son. The pink dog-looking thing is named Bulldog Drumhead. And that is a rather obvious spoof on obvious at the time anyway, on the classic adventure novel character Bulldog Drummond, who had also been the subject of a series of films at about the time this guy was introduced. Bulldog Drumhead is a big blowhard detective. He's a police detective. He's a cop. And the cat in the cowboy hat is Oliver Wendell McDuffie, who is the son of Doity Dutch McDuffie, a criminal cat whom Bulldog Drumhead had put away in jail for life. And so Oliver here forces Bulldog to adopt him at gunpoint.
Yeah, which is a thing you should do. Yeah.
Yeah, in comics, definitely. And so these two began a funny animal odyssey of just misadventures there. It ran in the first 18 issues of DC's very first funny animal comic, Funny Stuff, and it was also the first feature to be dropped from it.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. To the bottom of them, literally the last person on this whole thing on the left, looks like it could be a dwarf out of the Seven Dwarves, but I doubt that's who it is.
A dwarf, a gnome, a brownie, take your pick. Yeah. But he and the creepy little dude in the boater next to him, they're sprites, I think is the right umbrella term for the two of them. Their names are Bubby and Beevil.
Okay.
Evil is the creepy one. And they're mischievous little sprites representing good and bad impulses. I guess they were supposed to ultimately teach moral lessons to kids about their behavior, but they never really got around to it. They had a little adventure chasing a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, which lasted them the first 3 issues of New Fun Comics, and then they disappeared and were never seen again.
Okay. That seems to be a trend here. Let's get to who I assume are the next two pair here.
Actually, those are 2 singles, 2 solos.
Okay. Got it. Well, then let's talk about the Catwoman first, but not Catwoman.
Yeah. This little hobo cat is named Pint-Sized Pete. He's a black cat who rides the rails and has bad luck and complains about it. And as far as I could tell in my research, he made exactly 1 appearance. Representing the funny animal genre in something that DC published in January of 1945 called The Big All-American Comic Book, which is this big 128-page, which is huge even by Golden Age standards, big fat anthology comic representing like what DC considered at that time, I guess, the best of their characters and genres and whatnot. And representing funny animals, we had this character, and also Bulldog Drumhead was present. Yeah, that's as far as my research tells me. Pint-Sized Pete appeared just that one time.
Okay. Right next to him, kind of looks like a character you would see in some sort of Simpsons parody, but I don't know what. Like, there's something very off about the character design of this tiny adult child here.
Yeah, typical bratty kid of 30s and 40s comics, you know.
Yeah.
I could have gone either way on this one. It was either Earth 2 Lois Lane's bratty niece, Susie Tompkins, or it was Johnny Thunder's adopted daughter, Peachy Pet. And it turns out that it's Peachy Pet.
Okay.
So that's who she is. She's Johnny Thunder's adopted daughter, as if Johnny needed another problem in his life.
Yeah. And right next to her, there's something very creepy about these two. And like... it's the eyes, it's just the general, like, I don't know if it's the pants wearing, like, I don't know, like, just, there's something just very, I don't know.
The penguin's pants are a part of its body.
I know, it's so weird. It's so strange. I don't like it.
Well, it's all right. They're a minor footnote. We'll just blow past them as quickly as we can.
Yeah.
Their names are Pelion the Penguin and Asa the Bear.
Yeah.
They appeared in the first 20 issues of New More Fun, and we never have to look at them again.
Good. Thank you very much. Moving back up a little bit. Who's drawing on the person next to him there?
All right. Okay. This is the guy who gave the world Ma Hunkel. The Golden Age Red Tornado.
Okay.
Gotta find my notes about him. His name is boy cartoonist Scribbly Gibbet. Okay. And he actually predates. He did not originate as a DC character, but he found his way to DC when the Golden Age was in full swing. His first appearance was in a few issues of popular comics at Dell, the publishers of various cartoon character comics. But then when editor Charlie Gaines migrated over to DC All-American in the 40s, he brought cartoonist Shelley Meyer with him. And this is... Scribbly has always been the alter ego of Shelley Meyer. He made very little secret of the fact that Scribbly is at least in part based on Shelley Meyer's own life.
Nice.
And so he made appearances in... he was in All-American Comics number 1 through 99.
Holy cow.
That's how long this boy cartoonist ran. Plus, he actually had a handful of issues of his own solo series, would you believe? Oh, actually, no, I apologize. I was looking at the wrong line. Scribbly Gibbet ran in All-American number 1 through 59.
Okay.
And he had 15 issues of his own series entitled Scribbly. Yeah. And his Ma Hunkel was the mother of Scribbly's next-door neighbor, Huey Hunkel, who was Scribbly's best friend.
Okay.
So that's how Ma Hunkel came into things. It was Scribbly brought her in.
Nice. To the direct right of Scribbly, get a 100% guess that these three characters are related just by their outfits.
Well, they work together. They're not blood relatives or anything.
Yeah.
This is Little Boy Blue and the Blue Boys. Yes. Funnily, the one with the red hood is the one who is Little Boy Blue.
That doesn't make any sense. All right.
Yeah. But the Blue Boys, yeah. Anyway. This is a creation of Bill Finger without Bob Kane. In cahoots with cartoonist John Blummer. They first appeared in Sensation Comics number 1, which is also where we got our second glimpse of Wonder Woman. And they ran in that series all the way through number 82, with a few skips in there. Little Boy Blue is Tommy Rogers, son of a local district attorney, and the other two guys are his friends Tubby and Tuffy.
Okay.
Tubby's the fat one.
I guessed. They were very subtle back then, I must say. Very subtle.
Eventually, they did get real names, Tubby and Tuffy, but Tubby's real name was Dick Melville, as in Herman Melville, author of Moby Dick, who was a whale, and Tubby's the size of a whale. So that actually was kind of subtle, but Tubby a little less so.
That's not bad. That's not bad. We didn't mention above They're the woman in orange with the gun.
Woman in Orange. All right. That is, her name is Sandra McLean, and she's the star of the strip Sandra of the Secret Service. So in between a couple of flash-in-the-pan G-women, we get Sandra of the Secret Service, who actually made her strip last a little while. She was in New Fun #1 through More Fun #35, so like 3 years. Her code number was number 37. She was a part-time private investigator, part-time spy, and at one point she was even a princess.
Oh, wow.
Yep, she was a look-alike for the princess of a small European nation whom she was supposed to be bodyguarding. But they pulled a prince in the pauper.
Not everybody can have that on their resume, but she's managed to achieve it. All right. To the right of her, this lanky-looking man in a very, very small hat.
All right, well, you got to take those three Stooges or Marx Brothers looking guys as a threesome because
Yep.
these were the comic relief of they were to Jay Garrick what the Three Stooges were to comedian Ted Healy.
Okay.
They were called the Three Dimwits, and their names were Winky, Blinky, and Noddy. Okay, the Larry of the group was Winky Moylan. The guy with the messy hair was Blinky Boylan, and the Groucho of the group was Noddy Toylan.
Yeah, I would have guessed that this was Mo, Larry, and Curly, and yeah, I'm glad that that's definitely the direction that they were aiming for with that.
Oh yeah, they helped Jay Garrick out on a number of his adventures. And they were called the Three Dimwits.
Oh yeah, they're not the Three Stooges at all. No, of course not.
Not even slightly.
No, certainly. I don't think we touched on the woman who I'm assuming is blind.
Not really. That's her kind of her reverse Clark Kent. She put on glasses to hide her secret identity.
Oh, okay.
And then she took them off to become her regular self. Yeah. I'm proud of myself for knowing this one. This is Miss X. Real name was Janice Maloney. She happens to share my mother's first name. And she's another one of those supporting characters or sidekicks of Mr. America that Scott Koblish worked in here. She is the daughter of a district attorney for whom Tex and his friend Bob Daly worked briefly. And she would put on those sunglasses and help them, fight criminals from time to time.
Okay. Very cool. Then directly to the right of her is a man with one eye.
Yes, one eye. And one-eyed man's name is One-Eyed Gora.
Of course.
Because he has one eye.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, speaking of Mr. America, he's kind of a Ming the Merciless figure, kind of a Yellow Peril figure. He was the usurper tyrant of the sealed city of Yukotrama, which is an underground city that Tex Thompson and friends visited a few different times. And they deposed him, and the real Gora, who had two eyes, was put back in power. But the one-eyed Gora holds a grudge, and he fought Tex Thompson a few more times.
Okay. I would guess the person directly to his right is Swordsman from Marvel, but I know it's not.
Indeed, it is not. No, This is a historic adventure character who has popped up in DC Comics in recent years in a few different contexts, including Starman, as Shane would probably remember. This is John Valor, alias the Black Pirate.
Ah.
And the little man in the similar cowl in front of him is his son, Justin Valor. And this is not his nephew, not his adopted son or ward. This is his biological offspring. He was allowed to have a son, whereas so many superheroes were not. It's because he's a historical character, he can get away with that. But anyway, so it's the Black Pirate and his son, Justin Valor, who never got a sidekick name. And they had adventures in, I think, the 17th century when they were privateers in service to the king. Good guy pirates, in other words. They attacked enemy ships.
Okay. I'm guessing to the right of him is finally Zatara.
Yes, that is right. Zatara, Master Magician, first appeared in Action #1, beloved speaker of backward spells.
Excellent. To the right of him, some guy in an S.
Some other minor back page character who was also in Action Comics #1.
Yeah, Superman, right? Superman. Yeah.
Yeah.
He really liked dinner. That's what he was all about. Yep.
They called him the man of silverware because
old school Superman there with the old school shield S symbol there, and absolutely the way he should have been depicted. So
with a wink to the audience, just as Siegel and Schuster liked him to be.
Absolutely.
Not taking himself too seriously.
Yep. We're going to go back down a little bit underneath that character to the Davy Crockett-looking fellow.
Okay. This is a young man named Buckskin Jim. That was the title of his strip. His last name was Kenyon, Buckskin Jim Kenyon. He was a young frontiersman who had adventures in the American West circa 1840, and he appeared in the first 18 issues of New Fun, More Fun.
Okay. Guy next to him in definitely another kid, but
that's the Black Pirate's son.
That's the Black Pirate's son. You're right.
We got him.
Okay. There we go. Excellent. Sounds good. And then underneath this aviator-looking fellow, did we touch on him yet? I don't believe so.
We did not, but he is important because remember when I said earlier that Scribbly ran in the first 99 issues of All American?
You did.
It was actually this guy who did.
Oh, okay.
This is Hop Harrigan, this heroic young aviator created by John Blummer. He ran in those 99 issues of All-American, plus healthy runs in All-Star Comics and Comics Cavalcade. He was all over the place. Plus, he was the star of his own radio show and film serial. So he was well known to American media consumers, was Hop Harrigan. Yep, he and his larger sidekick, Second Banana, Tank Tinker, who really should have been on this cover as well, and his father figure, Prop Wash, they formed a company together called All American Aviation, and they had adventures all over, just flying all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
He even had not one, but two different superhero identities, trying to cash in on that superhero craze.
Yep.
One of the two was the Black Lantern, no relation.
Oh, wow. Very interesting. Okay. Yeah, when I looked up the Wikipedia entry, that was the first thing they mentioned, is that for a brief period in 1941, Blummer considered turning Hop Harrigan into a superhero, as many other strips were converting to follow the new trend. He appeared in costume from March to July, and then Blummer completely dropped the idea. So, yep.
Probably for the best. Not everyone needs to be a superhero.
Yeah. He did also apparently appear in the pages of Batman the Brave and the Bold, Volume 2, Issues 1 through 3, when a mysterious package containing a ring and a map with the secret message "Save Me" is sent to Clark Kent, who as Superman travels to the coordinates, finding a hidden mountain fortress known as the Eidos Citadel, and then it goes from there. So that's Volume 2 of Brave and the Bold, which I believe started in the 90s. So.
Oh.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't believe I have read that in that case, but if it's a Superman Hop Harrigan team-up,
yep,
I should.
Yeah, first 3 issues of that second volume of Brave and the Bold. So, there you go. Thank you, Wikipedia, for that much. And the little girl with the beady eyes directly next to him.
Yep. Well, she's not Little Orphan Annie, that's for sure.
No, of course not.
Yeah, that is Little Linda.
Oh, dear.
Come on. Okay, so
she's tiny, displaced Linda. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so she was created by the early and DC Comics writer, editor, and apparently sometime cartoonist Whitney Ellsworth, who was a fairly important figure in the early days of getting Superman off the ground, and eventually he's the guy that DC shipped off to the West Coast to oversee the production of the Superman TV show. But apparently he dabbled as a cartoonist, and he created this, if you can, created this. Just Little Linda, she's an itinerant orphan, just like Annie, and eventually she finds her daddy Warbucks in the person of miserly millionaire Silas Flint.
Oy vey. And if anyone were to ever say, "Oh no, DC would never stoop into the ripoff territory," they were the ones suing people because they were copying a Superman. Yeah, kettle black. Nuff said. Kettle pot black. Nuff said.
Hypocrisy is
an
ugly shade.
Mm-hmm. Directly next to her, another kid in a hat, and doesn't seem to be related to Not Orphan Annie, so I assume he's his own character.
No, he's also pretty much the same thing.
Oh, great.
He's just boy Little Orphan Annie. Very much like Little Linda. Ramblin' Jim, or Rambler Jim, as he was called at different times. His last name was Hunter, if anyone cares. But he was like a child vagrant also. Tough little kid. He made exactly 7 appearances between 1935 and 1937.
Yeah. Okay. Now, if you were to tell me directly next to him that was Slam Bradley, I would believe you. But I know it's not because we already touched on Slam Bradley. So,
Get ready to believe me because that is Slam Bradley. We have not.
oh, okay. Oh, I could have sworn we mentioned him already. All right, go figure.
Well, we might have just by means of contrasting him to another Private Eye character, but
Okay, fair enough.
yeah, this is Slam Bradley.
All right,
Samuel
excellent.
Slam, who was another Siegel and Schuster early creation, first appearing all the way back in Detective Comics #1 and running there all the way into the 50s, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he ran in Detective Comics #1 through Detective number 151.
Wowzers.
Which was September 1949, so he didn't quite get to the 50s.
Yep.
And the first 32 of those stories were drawn by Joe Shuster.
And Slam Bradley has been used to great effect over the years in multiple series involving himself with Catwoman in particular, the Brubaker and Darwin Cook stuff, and that excellent work using that character.
Yep, Tom King used him in Gotham City Year 1, I do believe.
Yep.
So he's become kind of the go-to hard-boiled 30s and 40s detective of the DC universe, despite the fact that there were about a dozen of them running around DC Comics at that time. Slam was the one that survived.
Yep.
Toughest of the tough.
Absolutely. Okay, so giant bowler hat child directly next to Slam Bradley.
Comedy cowboy character named Loco Luke. I don't feel like there's much more to be said.
No, that's fine. But there is something to be said for who's directly to the right of Slam Bradley, who is not Tintin in any way, shape, or form. Like, there's no way that could possibly be... It's basically just Tintin.
Well, I can't say for sure. I don't know exactly how old a character Tintin is, but this guy was around pretty close to the beginning of DC. His name is Spike Spaulding. And he was created by a very early and influential DC editor named Vin Sullivan. It's his own strip. He was an American kid abducted as a pawn in a Prince and the Pauper scheme to take over the European nation of Patrania. He ran in New Fun, More Fun, number 3 through number 30. So that's just exactly 3 years. And I don't think the entire time was spent running around Patrania. But I think he came home and had some, Archie-style, small-town American, modern-day Tom Sawyer adventures after that. But yeah, that's what that's what that is. That's Spike Spaulding.
Tintin has existed since 1929, baby. It's a straight-up ripoff.
All right. Justice be served.
Yep, I didn't realize Tintin was that old until I just looked at it. But yeah, the newspaper supplement existed as early as 1929, and then became a full newspaper strip in the 40s. So, yeah, yep, damn. And is that his dog next to him, or is that just a dog?
That is a dog. It's somebody's dog. It's or at least it was for a time, Alan Scott's dog.
Oh wow.
Yep, his name is Streak, Wonder Dog.
Okay.
He's kind of like Alan Scott's version of Ace, the Bat Hound, except
Right.
he predates Ace, I'm pretty sure, by a number of years. Apparently, the idea was from Robert Kanigher, and who pitched it to artist Alex Toth, and together they saddled Alan Scott with this dog in number 30 of Green Lantern Comics in February of 1948, pretty close to the end of the superhero heyday of the Golden Age. See, superheroes were already starting to be upstaged by trained animals as of the early 1948. So he basically upstaged Green Lantern for the last few issues of his own series, and then made scattershot appearances elsewhere. He was kind of a backdoor pilot kind of thing. Sticking Streak the Wonder Dog in there with Green Lantern. He was more than probably inspired by a dog named Silver Streak, a hero dog of Filmland, who was in turn Universal Films' own knockoff of Warner Brothers' Rin Tin Tin.
Of course.
So he's a knockoff of a knockoff.
Mm-hmm. And how Laddie is a knockoff of Lassie. All right.
Just another Simpsons reference?
Yes, it is. I don't know why it's been on my brain so much the past couple of days, and I haven't even watched it in a little while. But everything's just right at the top of my head is very Simpsons heavy the last couple of weeks.
Well, there are far worse things to have sitting at the top of your noggin than that.
Very, very true. Yep. On the top of knockoff Rin Tin Tin, Kind of looks like Karate Kid, but I know it's not.
Oh, well, we covered him just before Chris left. This is Midshipman Dewey.
You're
who
right.
sailed
That is,
during
that
the Barbary
is.
Wars.
Yes. Okay, all right. Excellent. So that's all covered. We're all done with that side. We can kind of knock a bunch of these out in one here because this is basically the JSA area, but
The lower right quadrant is the most obvious.
yes. Yep. Obviously, Adam, Wildcat. I see Phantom Lady there. Finally, we've got Mr. Terrific, Dr. Midnight, Liberty Bell. I see Jay Garrick in there. Johnny Quick, Sandman, Our Man, Stripesy, and I think. Who's the one in the red and the blue there? The woman.
Okay, well, first of all, let's just mention the guy with the mustache next to her.
Oh,
Since
yes.
we kind of covered him when Chris asked about him. That's Mr. America,
Yes.
a.k.a. Tex Thompson, a.k.a. Americommando.
Right.
And it's only fitting, good thinking on Koblish's part here to put Miss America next to Mr. America.
There you go. Yep.
This is not the Marvel Timely Miss America. It's not the beauty pageant Miss America. This is the Quality Comics Miss America. Yet another proto-freedom fighter that Uncle Sam recruited and who got killed in All-Star Squadron. She made 7 appearances in military comics back in the 40s, and she was drawn by 4 different artists over that 7-issue span. So she never really found her feet. And she's another one of those weirdo, overpowered characters who could just do any weird shit her writers thought of at the drop of a hat. Yeah.
Nice.
And her alter ego was reporter Joan Dale, just for the record.
Okay. Underneath her is someone who I do not recognize with the rifle there.
Yeah, let's see. I know I've definitely got notes for him. Mm-hmm. Not long notes, but notes.
Yep.
This is the star character of a strip called Red Coat Patrol, which was about Mounties, and he's Constable John O'Malley of the RCMP.
Okay.
He had a horse named Brownie, who is not shown, of course, and his strip ran in More Fun Comics from January of 39 through October of 41.
Okay. I also didn't recognize directly next to Phantom Lady the guy in blue there.
All right. Now, we mentioned that Paul Kirk, he of the blue face over there, was not the first Manhunter in superhero comics.
There you go. Okay. All right.
This is Donald Dan Richard. His name was Donald, but he went by Dan because 1940s nicknames were weird like that. But yeah, he was created by Tex Blaisdell. He ran in Quality Comics' Police Comics from issue number 8 to issue number 101. So a good, long, healthy run. He first appeared in March of 1942, and he beat the Paul Kirk Manhunter into print by 1 month.
Oh, wow.
Or at least the blue-faced superhero, not the other Paul Kirk Manhunter we mentioned.
Yep.
So this is the first masked hero Manhunter in comics. Yeah, because it says here Paul Kirk's first appearance as such was Adventure number 73, which was 1 month after that.
Yep.
Both of them operated in Empire City, and which is funny because they were at 2 different companies operating in the same fictitious city.
That's funny.
And we have to mention that Dan Richards here had a dog named Thor the Thunder Dog.
Ah, okay.
Years later was retconned as a robot, and I hate that.
Oh, come on, guys. That's not necessary.
A robot assigned to him to spy on his activities by the evil alien robot manhunters.
Boo, I say boo.
Stupid millennium.
Aye. All right. On top of Sandman, next to Johnny Quick, is a woman with a green face mask there.
All right. This is another character that very nearly became a member of Roy Thomas's All-Star Squadron, but didn't make the cut because of licensing. Okay, she was never truly a DC Comics character. Point of fact, she was never truly a Quality Comics character, even though they published her for a while. She's a Will Eisner creation. Her name was Lady Luck, who was the alter ego of socialite Brenda Banks. She made her first appearance outside of comic books altogether in the Spirit section of newspaper comics, which was, of course, put together by Will Eisner, who created the Spirit as well. And she just ran around and fought crime dressed like that. She had a little group of fellow female crime fighters who worked under her. They were called the Lady Luck Patrol. She had a whole supporting cast, and she eventually started appearing in Quality Comics in 1943, in Smash Comics. Stayed there all the way through issue number 90, and for the last 5 issues, the title was changed to Lady Luck. She took the whole thing over.
Yeah.
Yep, and so she, once again, was never actually a DC Comics character. I'm not sure why she's even included here, since she, as best I know, never appeared in a DC comic at all. But maybe it's just because Roy Thomas came that close to having her in the All-Star Squadron that they decided to draw her in.
Certainly possible. I mean, after all, to her left, they did draw Benjamin Franklin into a comic, into a cover. So, no, clearly it's not Benjamin Franklin, but boy, oh boy, is it Benjamin Franklin.
It's the Golden Age toy man, Ian.
Okay, all right. He looks like Benjamin Franklin.
Way too much hair for that.
Yeah. And on top of him, is that another penguin or is that someone else?
Franklin wishes he looked as good as the Golden Age toy man.
Yeah,
no, that's
right.
somebody else. That is a Superman opponent. He's the last of the old school con men. His name is J. Wilbur Wolfingham, and he was loosely based on film comedian W.C. Fields. He never give a sucker an even break fame.
Nice. Okay. All right. And we've got the Riddler directly to his right, or is that someone else?
That's someone else.
Okay.
Yes, his hat is green, but his name is Red. He's Red Logan, ace reporter for some London-based newspaper or other. Trying to find my notes on him, but
yeah, because he's got Riddler's tie, he's got Riddler's hat. Like man, that's some deep undercover there for a reporter.
Anyway, he appeared in more Fun Comics and Detective Comics off and on from 1938 to 1940. And other than that, he doesn't matter.
Fair enough to me. There is a man in a turban that we didn't mention.
He might just be my favorite man in a turban, actually.
Yep.
He's a favorite Golden Age character of mine. He's probably my favorite of the stage magician masquerading as superheroes or vice versa. See, Sargon the Sorcerer is his name.
Yes,
Real
I've
name?
heard of him.
Yes. He appeared in Alan Moore's Swamp Thing and died there, actually. He was also in Books of Magic. And he's made other appearances as good guy and bad guy over the years. That red jewel on his turban is called the Ruby of Life. It was the first object he touched as a baby, and that gave him the ability to control the ruby and through it to control... He has all kinds of magical mind over matter powers. He ran in All-American and Sensation Comics. And he had a sidekick named Maximilian O'Leary, who was a short, dumpy, tackily dressed Irishman.
Yes, that sounds about right for a man wearing a turban, but that's beside the point there.
Needs somebody next to him to make him look good.
Clearly. We almost missed one. And I'm glad that I was going back over. We didn't talk about Racer X here. Who was right above Superman. Yes, Captain X.
Captain X of the RAF. He's secretly reporter Richard Buck Dare, who joined the British Air Force before America officially got involved in the war. Yes, actually, his first appearance was October of 1941, which was 2 months before Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he flew. Another thing that I wish Koblish could have drawn here: the experimental invisible plastic plane Jenny.
Ooh, okay.
Jenny.
Huh.
So he appeared in the first 7 issues of Star Spangled Comics and then disappeared until the 80s, when it was revealed that he was Firestorm's grandpa.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Ronnie Raymond is his grandson.
And he also designed Wonder Woman's invisible plane, apparently. So go.
Designed, ripped off.
Potato. Either way. We'll move back over to this candy cane colored individual over here next to Stripesy.
What? That is Stripesy.
No, right. That's Stripesy, isn't it?
Oh,
right there.
No, Stripesy's the guy with the striped shirt.
Oh,
That's why
okay.
he's
Well,
called Stripesy.
God, in my brain, he's okay. All right. So that's Stripesy, and the other is the Star Spangled Kid. Got it. Okay. All
Right.
right. Okay.
So
All
we
right.
got that. Stars and Stripes, and they occasionally worked with Mary Girl of a Thousand Gimmicks, who we already saw.
Yes. Okay. All right. Great. And then later, Stargirl was it Stripesy then becomes Stripe, correct?
Right. He has that robot suit, and Stargirl is his stepdaughter.
Okay. Great. To the right of Star Spangled Kid, Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday.
You bet.
Yep. And who is that directly next to Solomon Grundy? That's a robot.
The shiny metal fellow?
Yep.
Well, that guy, the man who looks like a robot, is Robot Man.
What?
Yes, indeed. Some of these names are a little on the nose. You gotta agree. Do I have any notes about Robot Man? I know he's one of the longest-lived Golden Age characters. He's one of a handful that actually survived into the 50s. I think it helps to have been co-created by Mort Weisinger, as I'm pretty sure this Robot Man was.
Yeah.
Where is he?
So he is a completely different Robot Man than the Doom Patrol Robot Man.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes, Cliff Steele of the Doom Patrol was the Earth One Robot Man, you might say.
Got
And
it.
this guy is completely different. His real name was Robert Crane, no relation to the guy from Hogan's Hero.
Mhm.
And he had invented this fantastic robot, and then some enemy agents or criminals or something killed him while trying to get their hands on the secret. And his lab assistant, Charles Grayson, transplanted his brain into the robot, and he became Robot Man.
Okay.
And, dag nabbit, why? I know I wrote something down about Robot Man, because it's not many people realize how long this character lasted.
Yeah. He was.
Got it. Okay. I was wrong. He was not co-created by Mort Weisinger. He was created by Jerry Siegel with cartoonist Leo Novak. He
Yes.
first appeared in Star Spangled Comics #7. Because that's where Siegel was hanging out a lot there in the early 40s. Because Star Spangled Kid and Stripes were also created by Jerry Siegel, and they also ran in Star Spangled Comics. But anyway, so he ran in Star Spangled from number 70 through 71. Then he went to Detective Comics from number 138 to 202. So the final Robot Man story of the Golden and Atomic Ages was December of 1953. So there you go. Most people don't realize that Robot Man had that kind of legs.
I certainly wouldn't have realized. Yeah. Yep. Well,
And
good.
right next to him, since we're on the subject, the cowboy fella.
Yep.
Yep, that is Greg Sanders, the vigilante, also known as the Prairie Troubadour. Basically, he was a country singer on the radio who also put on that mask and became a crime fighter because he was the grandson of a Wild West sheriff or something. And he was created by Mort Weisinger. He was created by two guys named Mort Weisinger and Mort Meskin, and he ran in Action Comics from number 42 through number 198.
Holy cow.
Yep, the final vigilante story of that era was in November of 1954.
Shoo.
That's a darn respectable run. That's exactly 13 years.
That's something else there. Yeah. No. And I mean, it's a character that's I'm much more familiar with for future versions of him. One of which we very recently got in Arrow and a bunch of other places. He showed up in Justice League Unlimited, and obviously the Adrian Chase version showing up in Peacemaker. But that original character had way longer of a run than I ever expected.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, just cowboys have enduring appeal, especially when they're in modern day, riding around shooting people from a motorcycle.
Yep. Go figure. So who are these two tiny folks on the bottom of the page?
Well, those tiny titans are Doll Man and Doll Girl. Daryl Dane and Martha Roberts, respectively. Doll Man was an OG freedom fighter, one of the first team that appeared in JL of A in the 70s. And Martha Roberts, Doll Girl, or Midge as she was sometimes called, was his love interest from back in the old days at Quality Comics.
Nice. I am blanking for some reason above Dr. Midnight. I know that
we have to mention the owl on Dr. Midnight's shoulder. That's Hootie.
Yes, of course, Hootie, of Blowfish fame. But directly on top of that, I want to say Sunboy, but I know I'm not right about that. So Give me
You
the.
are not
give me
right
the,
about that. We
give me,
will see Sunboy on the cover of the next issue, I'm pretty sure.
yes. But what be this character's moniker?
Okay, this be the Crimson Avengers chauffeur sidekick, Kato to his Green Hornet. His name is Wing.
Okay.
Yes, Wing, family name Hao, Wing Hao. He first appeared along with the Crimson in Detective Comics number 20 in October of 1938. And back in the old days, he basically wore a chauffeur's uniform with a mask, which is what the Green Arrow's Kato also wore. And then when the Crimson Avenger adopted his more superheroic costume, Wing adopted this one. So we get the Crimson Avenger on this cover in his original outfit, and we have Wing repping the later superhero era of the Crimson Avenger and Wing.
Nice. Right on top of Wing, that is Tawny, correct? Of the talkie variety.
It is indeed Mr. Talkie Tawny, Captain Marvel's best friend who's a tiger.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. And directly underneath that would be Guardian. And are those Newsboys with Guardian, or are those two other characters?
There are 4 newsboys there with him.
Okay.
The 4 angry-looking young men. Those are the Simon and Kirby team concept, the Newsboy Legion, for sure.
Yep.
The jowly-looking one who kind of looks like Quagmire is named Gabby. The tall one with the glasses is Big Words. The one with the plunging neckline was Tommy Tompkins. And the guy in the forefront there with the torn-up outfit is Scrapper, kind of a poor man's Brooklyn from Boy Commandos.
Okay. I would love to know who the hell this just very, very small man in the top hat is, directly next to the Newsboys.
Okay, well, that is a villain. So it justifies whatever level of creep-outedness you're feeling right now.
Yeah.
His name is the Dummy. There's been some controversy, similar to the whole "is the gentleman ghost a ghost or not?" Is the dummy really made of wood or not? Is the controversy here? He might just be a very small person who looks and acts like a ventriloquist dummy. But
Okay.
he is the Dummy. He is an enemy of the. Well, he first appeared in the first ever Seven Soldiers of Victory story as one of a group of bad guys thrown up against the Seven Soldiers. But then he stuck around after that as a recurring nemesis of the Vigilante, whom we talked about a minute ago, the cowboy guy.
Well, speaking of the Seven Soldiers, near the we're actually near the end of this at this point. So I will point out we have both Green Arrow and Black Canary directly on top of that.
Is a little bit of an odd juxtaposition here because, remember, this is the Golden Age.
Yes.
And the Earth 2 Green Arrow and Black Canary never met, as far as I know. They weren't involved with each other. This is the older Black Canary, Dinah Drake, not Dinah Lance, her daughter, who was in the Justice League years later. She should really be wearing a domino mask, since that was kind of her Golden Age look.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, she started out pretending to be a criminal, that whole shtick.
Right.
And then she was kind of played up to Johnny Thunder and then kicked him out of his own feature in Flash Comics. Poor guy. But she and the Golden Age Green Arrow never really hooked up, so they don't need to be standing side by side here.
Yeah. And that's Golden Age Aquaman directly next to them?
That is the Earth 2 Aquaman, whose real name was, in fact, Aquaman. That is what his father named him.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm not kidding. This is the Golden Age Aquaman, co-created by Mort Weisinger and Paul Norris. And he was not the king of Atlantis or anything like that. He was just the son of an oceanographer or something who used special chemical secrets he'd found exploring the ruins of Atlantis to genetically engineer a son for himself who could breathe water. His father actually named him Aquaman. He was that progressive a thinker.
Wow.
But, he enrolled in college at some point in the Golden Age, and he adopted the alias Mr. Waterman while he did so.
Please tell me his first name was still Aquaman.
Aquaman Waterman, sure. Decades later, I think Jeff Johns actually did this, and I'm honored. He acquired the first name of Adam Waterman.
All right, good. That's good. It's better. Hello, my name is Aquaman Waterman. Nice to meet you. I'm here to study. We can't forget the dog underneath Green Arrow there. Is that his dog or is that just a dog?
That's a dog.
Okay.
And, this This is not Streak the Wonder Dog. This instead is Rex the Wonder Dog.
Okay.
He was created by exactly the same creators who brought Streak the Wonder Dog to college, Robert Kanigher and Alex Toth. He actually debuted in his own series, The Adventures of Rex the Wonder Dog, which premiered in January of 1952 and ran through November of 1959, 46 issues. So he's really more of a Silver Age, or at least Atomic Age character, but at least he's all the way to the right of the cover. Mm-hmm. So he can be there. So he is indeed a dog, and in the mold of Rin Tin Tin or Lassie. He had a little boy named Danny Dennis, who was his version of Timmy, and he actually had kind of a super soldier origin. Like, he was injected with something as a puppy that made him super canine.
Okay. Super dogs.
Yep. He had roughly human intelligence, even.
All right. We go to the left of Aquaman real quick to mention Uncle Sam. I can't forget about Uncle Sam of Freedom Fighters fame, indeed. And then underneath him is at least one kid that wasn't part of the Newsboys, correct? Or is
that's big words. He is part of the Newsboys.
Okay,
then the blonde kid there. Yeah, it's good that we're mentioning him now, because he's not a newsboy. He is Buddy Smith, and he was Uncle Sam's young companion when he was running around fighting crime at Quality Comics during World War II. Yep.
Got it.
We read his first appearance for an introducing episode once. I gotta say, he goes in column B for me here, because I definitely remember the character, but when Will Eisner drew him, he looked a lot younger than that.
Okay. Very far, literally very far right next to Green Arrow. That's sure not Speedy, so I don't know who that is.
Yep, there was a Golden Age Speedy, but somehow he didn't make the cover here. That, however, is another one of the proto-freedom fighters, a Quality Comics character named the Red Bee. His name is Richard Rick Raleigh. He's the assistant DA of Superior City, and he fought crime using trained bees. And he's kind of become the poster child for... He's the quintessential Golden Age bee-lister. He's like the ultimate also-ran superhero, the down-on-his-luck guy nobody wants to remember. And I just love the way Koblish drew Green Arrow as like shouldering him out of the shot, and the bee looks pissed about it.
Not the bees! Ay vey. All right, we are about 5 from done here, so let's go directly on top of Mr. B to a man in orange that I very much do not recognize, although he could very easily be Arsenal, but he's not.
He isn't. He's actually a Western character. He's one of Fawcett Comics' best-known Western characters. His name is the Golden Arrow. Well, actually, his name is Paul Parsons, but his alter ego is the Golden Arrow. Mm-hmm. His father was a scientist who died in a ballooning accident, and little Paul was raised by a prospector named Nugget Ned, who found him the gold that he used to make his arrowheads. And he fought crime in the West for a bit, and then, for some reason, he started out in the modern day of the 1940s, and then suddenly his adventures were transposed without explanation to the Old West. Oof. But anyway, he's the Golden Arrow.
There you go. Directly next to Green Arrow, because why not?
Yeah, because Koblish does nice grouping.
He do. Old man with no hair except for the hair he has.
Now, I could probably sell you more easily on this being the Golden Age Lex Luthor, right?
Yes, most definitely.
Well, in a way, he is, because he's kind of a precursor to the kind of character that Lex Luthor became. This is the Ultra-Humanite.
Oh, wow.
This was what he looked like when he first appeared in comics. This was his first body, before he started, swapping bodies left and right.
Uh-huh. Okay. I'm much more used to him looking like a monkey, so...
Well, he's not a monkey. And in fact, the monkey wasn't even his first brain switch. His first brain switch was into the body of film actress Dolores Winters. Which occurred in Action Comics number 20, a mere 7 issues after his first appearance.
Wow. Okay. He gets around.
Mm-hmm. Or at least his brain does.
Yep. I said one other guy looked like Doctor Strange. This guy very much does look like Doctor Strange, on top of Gold Arrow there. And he even looks like he's conjuring a card, but I know he's not.
All right. Okay, now this one I know for a fact is one of Scott Koblish's mistakes. Because
Okay.
if you look at the actual cover of the issue, he has repenciled this character into a completely different character.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't even know who that's supposed to be, but he became, on the final draft of the cover, another proto-freedom fighter from Quality Comics named Magno the Magnetic Man,
Okay.
whose alter ego was Tom Dalton, and he had magnetic powers. So there.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So this is quite literally a mistake that has since been corrected.
Yes.
Okay.
Those funky bandaged fingers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Next to him on the left, a Wild West character, clearly, because he has Wild West features.
Yep, this is another character that's kind of riding the outer edge of the Golden Age here. He is indeed a Western figure. His name is Ohiesa. That's his Sioux name. But to his white neighbors, he was known as Pow Wow Smith, Indian lawman. And he was created by writer Don Cameron and artist Carmine Infantino.
Oh, wow.
His first appearance was in 1949 in Detective number 151, and he made over 100 appearances after that. And similar to the Golden Arrow down there, apparently he started out as a modern-day character, but was then transplanted back in time to the Old West somehow.
Ooh, boy. Once again, characters sure do get around. All right, I think we have two more. We've got this fellow here in the prison stripes.
All right, well, that's not an inmate of any kind. That's wholesome young student-athlete Pep Morgan.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that sure is Pep Morgan. I'm going to put him in this column. And what can I tell you about Pep Morgan? Whoa. Whew. Vision is starting to swim here. It's a good thing we're almost done. Pep Morgan. Come out, Pep Morgan.
Let's see.
Under horse's head.
Yeah.
Yep, there he is. Okay, he's a heroic college athlete. He first appeared in More Fun number 12 and made over 60 appearances in More Fun and Action Comics. Originally, his hometown school was Riverdale, but I guess a kid named Archie at a different publisher became notable enough that they had to change the name. So they changed it to Ardale, Ardale, which is just another way of just putting like the letter R in front of Riverdale. You know.
Amusingly enough, looking at a picture of him at the DC fandom wiki, he used to run around in a sweater with an M on it. So he really was very Archie.
Yeah, I saw that picture too, and I don't know what the M is even supposed to stand for.
I assume the school he goes to, maybe. I don't know. It makes very little sense to me.
More like the school the artist thought he went to.
Maybe that's a possibility. And he was in. I mean, as you stated, this is another Action Comics #1 character right here. So this is somebody who literally has existed as long as he can possibly exist in the DC universe, and has barely been mentioned ever since. So,
yeah, actually, he predates Action Comics #1.
Oh yeah. No. You mentioned more. It's just he happened to be in.
Right. He did jump over to Action eventually, so I guess
yes,
that was with the very first issue.
Yep, absolutely. And we close things out here with Gray Guy and Boy.
Yep, Gray Guy. Yeah, Koblish's art wasn't served very well by the coloring here because he's supposed to be transparent rather than gray.
Got it.
He's not exactly a ghost. He's an agent of heaven. So he's more like an angel, really. His name is Mr. Keeper, and he is the assistant and guardian of the boy whose shoulder he's rubbing there, and that's Kid Eternity. Yeah, these two first appeared. They were created by Otto Binder, the guy who wrote so many Captain Marvel stories in the Golden Age. They were created for Quality Comics, so they're not actually even Fawcett Comics characters. But years later, they were kind of co-opted into Earth S because E. Nelson Bridwell, writing Captain Marvel stories in the 70s, decided that Kid Eternity was going to be Captain Marvel Jr.'s long-lost brother. So they had to exist on the same Earth.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Plus, their backstories are kind of similar. They both were fishing with their grandfathers when a horrible accident involving Nazi agents befell them, and the grandfathers died. And Freddie Freeman got Shazam powers, and Kid Freeman died. But then it was discovered by Mr. Keeper when Kid Eternity got up to heaven that Kid Eternity wasn't supposed to die yet. So as compensation for the time he lost, Kid Eternity Mr. Keeper got special permission to take Kid Eternity back to Earth and give him superpowers, the power to summon the ghost of any historical figure he wanted, and even certain fictional characters to fight the forces of evil, such as the Nazis who, caused the death of his grandfather. So that was his thing. Whenever he said the word eternity, he could summon the dead. And that's a great place to end this marathon session of naming largely dead comic book characters.
Yep, and Kid Eternity very much had a long, fabled career, not just in Fawcett, but also at DC in many different forms over the years. So,
including a take on him by Grant Morrison, who was very different from anything Otto Binder had in mind.
Oh, you better damn well believe that. Yep. And this has been a absolutely fantastic marathon session here that you folks are going to get in two parts. I will more than likely split it up in the departure of Mr. Eberly and then post that as we went about 4 hours. So that'll very much split it up into two that way. But Murd, this was a joy.
Yes, thank you, Ian. I'm glad it was a joy for you because it was a joy for me as well. Truly a labor of joy.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
And I hope we get to do it again. We'll see how well it works out here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let us know on the group and all that what you guys think of this particular format here. And obviously, the next episode will be us reviewing issue 1. And then if this is indeed the way that we decide to go, then very well the next episode after that will be cover 2 and then issue 2 and then so on and so forth. So we'll definitely try to make this go as long as possible until Mark Waid puts out a new version of the DC universe before we wind up finishing this. But who knows?
Yeah, wouldn't that figure?
Yep.
But let me just tell folks my score here, though.
Oh yes, of course.
Hopefully will give us some inkling of how many characters there were on this cover. I actually did better than I thought I was. I guess it's because there were so many groups of characters that came together, and I counted each of those characters as one.
Sure.
So in my A column, the characters I knew right off, I have 163.
Whew.
In the B column, characters I knew but didn't recognize, 61. And column C, characters I just flat out had never heard of before, 71.
Oh boy.
So we add that together, 61 plus 71 is 132. That gives us 295 characters,
Wow.
give or take a couple. I may have missed a couple of hash marks along the way.
Whew.
But that is my count, though. So somebody else can fact check me on that. But that's what I think we came up with.
Which also tells me that Koblish, in doing these adjoining covers, probably drew at least 1,000 characters, which is...
if there's this many on the other three, it's got to be over 1,000.
Wow. Whew. Man, what a love letter to the type of stuff that George Perez used to put out. And honestly, this was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys had as much fun listening to it as it was for me to be a part of it. So,
I may question a few of his creative decisions, but I have new respect for Mr. Koblish as a creator for just putting in the work it took to cram all these characters together.
Oh, absolutely.
8 covers worth of space.
Absolutely. Yep. And like I said, stay tuned. We will indeed be reviewing issue 1. Shane should be on that episode as well. And we're definitely going to go into the new history and really how it shapes the DC universe and kind of combines a whole bunch of stuff in a really lovingly produced way that I think makes hell of a lot more sense than it used to. So we shall see.
Indeed.
Bird, good times. Let's go to bed.
Yes, amen to that. Because it's midnight and we needs our pillows.
Yes, we do. Email address for Comic Timing is comictiming@gmail.com. Facebook.com/Comic Timing is where you can find more about the show, and the Comic Timing fan group is there as well. So please let us know about what you thought about this and the second part of the episode as well, which you're hearing this ending on because I'm probably going to put a different ending on the first part. So go figure.
If you missed any characters, yell at us about it.
Yes, if we miss any characters, do yell at us about it, or just yell at us in general, but be polite about it. YouTube.com/@ComicTimingPodcast, where you can find the very important video version of this. I still think it makes plenty of sense audio-wise, but it's a nice supplement to it, and I hope you guys do check that out. We're on Bluesky at Comic Timing. We're on Instagram at Comic Timing Podcast, and Threads at Comic Timing Podcast as well. And for Chris Eberly, for Adam Murdo, for meticulous research, I'm Ian Levinstein, reminding everybody out there that there's always time for comics. And breathe.